Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lancers Live on a Sunday, and not only that, but our final stream of the 2024-2025 baseball season. Your USC Lancers today face the Gaston College Rhinos, as we seek to win the tiebreaker. Yesterday, a dramatic doubleheader in which your Lancers won the first game 5-2, and Gaston pulled out the second game, 14-6. Some pyrotechnics in both games. Justice and I will be giving a little more details about that as we move forward. But in today's matchup, we come in at 15-14 in the conference, and I believe we have locked up third place, right, Justice? No matter
Yep,
what happens, we will be going into this
that's
weekend's
correct.
tournament. Blake has got the graphic up now. You're looking at the brackets. Both Florence Darlington and Gaston. This is a double elimination tournament we'll be looking at next weekend. Starts on Friday, May 2nd. And we will open. Flodar and Gaston will get buys in that first game. We will be matched up with the sixth place Salkehatchie baseball team. So that's a pretty good spot for us, Justice. And you know what that means, those of you that are looking at the bracket, we're going to probably, assuming we handle and take care of business with Salk, be turning around and facing Gaston right away again.
Yep.
So with that, this is Nick Lawrence. I'm going to be doing your play-by-play. Justice, say hi to the crowd and share some thoughts about what we're going to be looking at today.
Yeah, today's game isn't super important. I mean, as far as placement, nothing's going to happen, but you want to stay in rhythm and you want to keep your players ready for the playoffs since this is our last game. So this is important nonetheless.
We've got a lot of guys playing really well right now, swinging hot bats, and Justice was telling me, you were telling me before the game, okay, we're keeping our starters in there, and we're going to be bringing out Jacob Richardson, who pitched an absolute gem a couple of weeks ago against Sumter. Carried a no-hitter into the fifth inning, actually. Sumter, an extremely solid baseball team in a stacked division. Be interesting to see what Jacob's got today against this lineup, but we've got some hot hitters that you'll be talking about. Before we get into any more of those details, let me do a shout-out to MUSC. Y'all, don't let an injury hurt your game. The MUSC Health Sports Medicine team of physicians, athletic trainers, and physical therapists evaluate and treat athletes of all ages. Go to muschealth.org/sports to learn how they can get you back in the game with 3 convenient locations in Chester, Indian Land, and Lancaster. Our team is dedicated to providing you the excellent care you deserve. Your MUSC Health Sports Medicine team for today's game is athletic trainer Caitlin Krychek. And Caitlin, as always, also looks out for the other team as well when she's on the field. And so MUSC Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is the new team in town. You can see, if you're keeping your eye on the camera there, the managers and the umpires are talking a little shop. Impressions, though, Justice, we were talking about keeping our guys in rhythm as we try to win this series against a nationally ranked team and also prime ourselves for the all-important Division 10 playoff. Who are the guys you're looking at that you think are playing extremely well right now and that the fans might be treated to seeing some even more magnificence today?
I mean, Baker had an outstanding day yesterday. 3 home runs and a lot of defensive plays that helped us get that first win. Finn, Caden, and Chaz also had a bomb, and there were 10 total bombs on the day. So
10 total home runs on the day, you're saying, for both games?
for both games, yep.
That is a lot of dingers for your Lancers. And, yeah, Baker with 3 of them. And not only did he have a good defensive day in general, but he made maybe the best catch I've seen all year, drifting into center right on a catch that everyone in this booth thought was going to land for a double. And he ran it down pretty as you please. So, speaking of Mr. Richardson, who will be taking the hill today in just a few moments, let's look at his overall stats. We said that he was fabulous the last time we saw him here against Sumter, but overall, Richardson's carrying a 6.55 ERA. He's made 16 appearances, but only 1 and 2, so he's had a lot of non-decisions. I feel like he's had some ups and downs, 26 strikeouts on the year, 20 walks. What kind of pitching does he bring to the table? Would you say that he's more of a power pitcher than we saw from Whirling and CJ, or how would you describe what we're going to see from Jake?
I mean, he's got a great fastball, gets it up to the mid-high 80s. He's got great off speed. It's quick, and it breaks sharply. So if you can pair that together today, he'll have success.
Well, I'm surely looking forward to this. And ladies and gentlemen, as always, I want to give you a friendly neighborhood tip here. The stream and the beautiful camera shots Blake's providing and the audio too, all becomes so much more vivid if you pull this up on a bigger device. Use your desktop if you have one of those, but really the television is the way to go, I think. Yeah, you can go back on the YouTube and just look for it. And the name of the channel is USC U of SC Lancaster is the YouTube channel, and what you really want is to subscribe to that channel, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we're providing links, pictures on USCL Athletics Facebook page, our student social media coordinator for sports, Verenia Delgado, threw a lot of lovely shots on the board for those of you that haven't gone from yesterday's affair. Some really great still shots and action shots of the players. She's going to be on the field getting some more shots today. I don't quite see her from the booth, but she's somewhere. And so we're looking forward to getting some more images, all those things. I myself threw a few cell phone grabbed pictures on the Facebook page, just some pregame shots. It is a truly beautiful day out here as fans come in. Justice, as we prepare for this game, this has been your first season ever, right? Doing announcing for a whole season. Tell us a little bit about your takeaway from the difference between being up here in the booth versus being like on the field playing, or even being a fan. Like, what are your thoughts on your experience this year with us?
I mean, when you're on the field, it's almost like you have tunnel vision. You're so focused on the game that you might be able to miss certain things. But sitting in the booth, when you have a great view of the whole field, you pick up a lot of small things that will help you as a player.
That is interesting. Would you say that there's a value for players to be up here watching? What kind of things do you pick up that you might be able to use as you gear up for field time next year?
I mean, you're just able to see the whole defense. You'll be able to see plays before they start and kind of where everyone's positioned. And I mean, just watching pitchers pitch, you get to see a better view almost from back here. Maybe not better, but a different view from back here.
It's you know, from up here in the booth, we do have a pretty clear shot of what the pitches look like, and I love that. Even I got some new glasses the other day, so my eyesight's even better. Like, I was seeing a lot more crisply yesterday and enjoyed that. The Lancers are going to be coming out in my favorite of their uniforms, the Lancer Blues, and the Gaston Rhinos are busting out the gold as we appear to be somewhere 5 to 7 minutes away from game time. By the way, Blake and I have been gaming out some between-inning discourse and some things we're going to talk about today, Justice. In addition to finally finishing that list of great baseball references and rock music, we're going to finish that up today. But we also are going to be talking great movie quotes from baseball movies. And we're going to be sharing a list that we found, I believe, on the Sporting News of some sort of ranking of the greatest baseball announcers of all time, so the website says. So we have some fun stuff to share there with you guys. We look forward, though, as always, to any questions or comments that you have. Slap them up there on the Facebook page, and Blake keeps an eye on that stuff. If we see something, we'll surely respond. Jake is now on the mound getting his reps in. Here's how your Lancers are going to line up today. You're going to have Richardson on the mound. You're going to have Aaron Gilden behind the plate. Over at first base, Luke Garabedian. Second base, Isaiah Lutz. Shortstop, Caden Barron. And at third base, Finn McLaughlin. Out there in ye old outfield, well, we're going to be having Mr. Cazorla patrolling right field today. A start for him. What do you think about that? What did you think about Cazorla's performance yesterday, Sebastian Cazorla?
I mean, he does a great job coming in the game late and being effective, even when he's been maybe sitting for a while. So getting him some reps and making sure he's ready come playoffs is important.
That's awesome. And then, of course, Dylan Baker will be patrolling center for us and Chaz Welch in left, which is similar to what we had yesterday. Very similar lineup. By the way, Sebastian Cazorla, starting in right field today, declares exercise science as a major, and boy, this is a great school to do that with some of our faculty here. He is from Okotoks, Alberta, Canada, so part of that international contingent. And ladies and gentlemen, the first pitch is about to take place. It's not going to be semi-hard. It's going to be hard. And here comes the first pitch to Mr. Corbin. Corbin patrolling center field for the Gaston Rhinos. And that first pitch is up for ball one. Ty Corbin came into this final game of the season batting .351. So dangerous hitter. Richardson pours a strike in there. Mr. Corbin also with a .478 on base percentage. So that, even my old cynical heart can enjoy that, Justice. He also a little bit of a threat on the base paths. So Richardson, a little bit of work cut out for you when you're facing this Gaston team. But we know the man has some pop with his fastball. So let's see here. That ball's lofted. Fairly deep left. Chaz Welch drifting back. And oh my goodness, Ty Corbin has led things off with a tater. And by the way, my goodness, Ty, that was his first home run of the year, Justice. What do you think about that? You get your first home run of the year on the last day of the season. How would that feel as a hitter?
Feels good, it gives you a little bit of confidence going into playoffs. Unfortunate it was against us, but
unfortunate indeed that it was against us. But that is nothing Welch could do. That ball sailed on over that short left field porch, and that'll bring up Joey Nicholson, who certainly terrorized us yesterday. Very dangerous right-handed hitter here. He is playing right field today for Gaston. Let's see if Richardson can recover here. Nice slider there, catching the letters for a strike. You just got to shake that off, Justice, don't you?
I mean, early on, it's not what you want, but can't let that get in your head.
All right, so 1-0, but we're ready to go. We're just now settling in, and already runs are on the board, or a run. Here comes the pitch. A beautiful fastball, right on the numbers again, to move Richardson ahead in the count. Being ahead in the count, very important against a team with this kind of offensive pop. Richardson sets the deal. That's way inside. That should move the count to 1-2. Looks like we're having some
scoreboard issues.
Yes, a little bit of blinking, a little bit of perhaps haunted. We suggested last year that the scoreboard might be haunted. Part of my scholarship, you might not know this, is ghost stories, and so I often think about inanimate objects being haunted. Here comes the pitch. Squibb to the right side. Garabedian drifts back, and that's going to be always nice to get that hitter out on something easy-peasy, lemon squeezy. That'll bring up Crabtree. Crabtree, the first baseman, also had a heck of a doubleheader yesterday. The man comes in batting .403. With 6 home runs on the year. Big, strong left-handed hitter. Richardson sets to deal with him. And the delivery is inside. Jacob Richardson, 6'1", hails from Hilton Head, South Carolina. So locally state-produced. Business administration has declared major. Count is 1-0. Second pitch is outside, so Crabtree heading the count, 2-0. Still drifting in are fans. We will give you some kind of account. We do have a ticket taker today, but it's worth it, y'all. It's about as pretty as you can ever want. We've even got a nice breeze today, unlike yesterday. Here comes the pitch. Skied to center. Baker drifts over. So does Welch. Who wants it? Welch in left is going to snare that. One of our favorite phrases of the weekend, a semi-hard hit fly ball, Justice. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We also like that phrase today, obviously. All right, here comes Nix. Nick's had a big day too. I mean, when you score 14 runs in the second game, you're going to put some numbers on the board.
Yeah.
David Nix comes in hitting 310, 9 taters on the year for him. So dangerous cleanup hitter, also playing shortstop. Richardson misses. By now, Justice, I don't know, when you play a team 6 times, does it change how you're seeing the field? Or when you were playing in high school, did you ever play a team as many times as you're playing here at USCL?
I have, and I mean, you both kind of grow as teams, and you want to be the team that kind of makes the right adjustments. So
you wonder if some rivalries don't start to develop as guys just see more and more of each other, like they're almost tired of each other. You know what I mean, too? Does that ever kind of develop?
Oh, yeah, if a guy gets one over on you, you might not forget about it.
That's a base hit to left. Yeah, and so, you know, I would also say, as Swanson, who did leadoff duty yesterday and now has been moved to fifth, I would surmise Coy Swanson, that is, left fielder, that for pitchers, you've had a chance to really look at some guys, you know, by the time you're looking at the 6th time you've played. And hitters have seen these pitchers before, right?
Yeah, so as a pitcher, you need to make sure to make adjustments, too.
That's a strike at the knees there. Nice pitch by Richardson there. There are 2 outs. We're in the top of the first here at lovely Doomsday Corner. You're listening to and watching Lancers live on this Sunday, April 27th. It's good to be alive in 2025. Richardson misses outside there a little bit. Swanson digs back in. Like me and Justice, there's some left-handed hitters on the Gaston team facing this right-handed pitcher.
Ooh.
That clipped him is what the umpire is saying. Okay, so we got a hit by pitch. We actually did not have one of those all of yesterday.
Gabo's been taking a break.
That'll bring up Hendrickson, and if you could look at Game 2, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's one of the ones that hit an absolute bomb in that second game. Am I confusing him with someone else?
No, you're right. Hendrickson, yeah.
Yeah, I remember him just crushing one, so let's watch out for this young man. Richardson dialing in here. And that is lofted high in the air to center, but Dylan Baker drifts under it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, furry little creatures from Alpha Centauri, at the end of half an inning, the Gaston Rhinos are on the board, leading 1-0. Your friendly neighborhood Lancers coming to the plate. Now, the first thing I want to do here in between innings is close up our discussion of music, music that references baseball lyrics, because we've been doing this for 2 weeks, and we were almost at the end yesterday when the game ended. So I'm all the way scrolling, and I hope you guys are getting all you could possibly want out of this beautiful Sunday, the 27th. All right, the last guy we talked about was Joe Walsh, and that led into all kind of things about the Eagles, right? How about this? Home Run King by Gene Clark. Oh, no, we talked about him, too. That's the Birds co-founder. We did him. Moving to number 18. Oh, we did the Beach Boys, too. Man, we almost done. All right, number 19. For the Turnstiles, Neil Young. Neil Young from On the Beach. I love Neil Young. The era wasn't exactly the happiest. Neil Young, he's talking about 1974, was still struggling with the immense fame that Harvest brought in 72. A reality that hit harder than perhaps he'd expected. There's a melancholic mood to the album On the Beach, including the song For the Turnstiles, which notes, quote, all the Bush League batters are left to die on the diamond. Oh, no. And, quote, in the stands, the home crowd scatters for the Turnstiles. So says the website. It's presumably a commentary on how fame and success seem to have a way of breaking things down in the end, whether in sports or music or anything else. The last song we will do is Center Field by John Fogerty. I suppose we already did Paradise by the Dashboard Light and missed it. Maybe my favorite use of baseball in pop music. But here, ladies and gentlemen, let's get back to the action. Isaiah Lutz is going to be leading things off against Purvis. Drake Purvis. Justice comes in with a 4.17 ERA, 6 wins, no losses, 11 appearances. He has walked 17 batters but struck out 46, so some pretty decent numbers there.
Yeah.
Isaiah had a pretty good day yesterday himself, though, didn't he? In addition to playing some decent second base. And he takes one inside there. Lutz has been a real bright spot for Coach Calhoun all year, I would say, Justice.
Oh, yeah. Came in as a freshman, really reliable defensively and offensively.
Hails from Elwood City, Pennsylvania. He's taking it high there. And, you know, he does this a lot. He gets ahead in the count. He's got a great eye. He makes you throw strikes. And when he showed, you know, some power with that bat yesterday, he took a couple of balls for a real ride, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
So here he is ahead in the count 2-0. Purvis right there gets one over, though, for a strike. And, yes, more and more people are coming in now. I see a solid crowd developing on the left side, which is the Lancaster side. We'll talk about John Fogerty's great song, Center Field, after. Hopefully we score a bunch of runs. And Lutz down the third base line. It's gonna go for a while. The left fielder gives chase. Lutz is going to stop at second. I believe the left fielder booted the ball. Do we have a hamstring pull?
I hope not.
Something. Calhoun is immediately coming out. No, we don't have a hamstring pull. It looked to me like he grabbed it.
He did, yeah.
But maybe he was just kidding. Well, thank heavens. Nicely done. Tommy Zimmerman now comes to the plate. And tell us a little bit about this young man, Justice. Zimmerman's been a pinch hitter a lot of times. He's starting today.
Yeah, him and Finn have been our 1 and 2 at third base. He's really explosive offensively.
Tommy Zimmerman comes from Gibsonia, Pennsylvania. So here comes the pitch from Purvis, misses inside. Coach Calhoun loves to recruit up the alley there in Pennsylvania, doesn't he?
Yeah, Coach Donatelli actually has some connects over there, so our first base coach.
Excellent, and that's the kind of networking you have to do as a coach. We talked to Coach Calhoun some. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Get Blake's thoughts on this too. That ball has hit a mile in the air to someone. Second baseman drifts in. Okay. One of the things I would like to ask Coach Calhoun for next year's episodes of Calhoun's Corner would be a little bit of how that networking works as he drifts out. This is going to bring up Finn McLaughlin, who has been a rock in the middle of our lineup all year, hasn't he, Justice?
Oh, yeah.
Big left-handed hitter, plays a lot of third base. Every now and then they'll throw him at short, you've said. I don't know if I've seen that.
No, usually not short. He'll usually stay at third.
Okay, sometimes DH maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, well, here he is with a runner in scoring position and 1 out. Purvis, the left-handed pitcher, trying to stop the progress, but he's going to miss there. McLaughlin will be followed by Garabedian and then Gilden, so we have some thunder. This isn't a semi-hard middle of the lineup. This is a hard middle of the lineup, and we're going to see if we can't get it rolling with Finn. The pitch. And, yeah, I mean, also the left fielder bobbled that ball, Justice, and I thought maybe Isaiah was going to go for third.
Yeah.
But I think Coach Calhoun's like, it's early, let's all calm down, I've got my guy in scoring position. No need to get carried away. All right, we're heading the count 2-0 here. Lutz dancing at second with a nice fat lead. That's a strike on the outside corner. We often talk about how lefties have a natural advantage with a pickoff to first. What about to second? It almost feels like they have to wheel around extra. Is it a little awkward for a left? You pitch left, don't you?
Yep.
What's it like for you when you have to turn to second as a lefty?
I mean, if you practice it, you can kind of get comfortable. You just have to make sure that it's something you work on.
That's a beautiful little curveball there by Purvis to even the count. Verinia texting to let us know she's here, but I already saw her, so haha on that. We'll be seeing some pictures shortly. And here comes the 2-2. That's in the dirt. but nicely blocked. Nice job of catching there by Lundqvist. Blocks what would have been a wild pitch there, Justice. We often talk about how that's the hardest position to play. I feel this in my bones. So many things going on when you're the catcher that you have to worry about.
Yeah.
Multitasking stress. And then just the knees. It just hurts my knees to watch these young men. All right, so now the count's full nonetheless. And that is slapped down the line, but the first baseman has it. Lutz will move over. So now the tying run is 90 feet away for Luke Garabedian. Garabedian also has had a very strong year for the Lancers. Garabedian comes in hitting .307, 4 taters, 37 RBIs, goodness gracious, and a .476 on base percentage. So this is a good man to have at the plate in this situation. Purvis prepares to deal. That misses high and outside. Calhoun and Lutz strategizing over there at third. I'm sure it's something along the lines of watch out for a wild pitch. That also is going to miss outside. I've noticed pitchers are pretty careful with Luke in general. I'd say word has gotten out.
Yeah, you don't want to throw it on that inside part. You might just hit him.
And then where does he like to get the ball when he's swinging?
I mean, when I've hit with him in the cage, he honestly works with it everywhere, outside, inside, low, high. Probably that middle pitch is probably where he prefers.
Well, now he's ahead in the count 3-0. I think you certainly trust one of your best hitters, but probably we're taking all the way here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Purvis probably just wants to avoid the ball getting away from Lundqvist here, and here comes the pitch, and that's a strike on the corner there to move the count to 3-1. So now we're back into a more swingable count. Lutz lead not very big over there at third. It just kind of chilling over there. Here comes the pitch from Purvis. That will miss outside. So now runners on the corners for Mr. Gilden. And Aaron Gilden, I believe he had a pretty good day yesterday, if I'm remembering right, Justice. I'm not remembering exactly what he did. Do you have something there you can pull up?
I can check real quick.
A right-handed catcher, hitting catcher, came in hitting .282 on the day with a couple of taters.
Yeah, he had got us a run.
RBI?
Yep.
Okay, there you go. And that's going to miss inside. An RBI is exactly what Coach Calhoun's got on his wish list here from Mr. Gilden. Gilden has driven in 13 runs on the year, and he's collected 36 total bases, slugging at .462. The pitch, that's also very inside and misses. Gilden hails from New York, New York, the Big Apple. The Big Apple. He went to St. John's Prep in Queens, New York. I got to shout out to my buddy Jeremiah Hickey that lives in Queens, New York, and is a professor as that ball comes in for strike communications at St. John's University. He assures me that Rick Pitino does not attend faculty meetings, though. The count is now 2-1 to Gilden. That must be a trip to live in Lancaster after having grown up in New York City. Does he ever talk about that?
Yeah, he said that he had lived in upstate New York for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And then the city, he says he likes it, but I don't know. I don't think he misses it too much.
That'll even the count at 2-2. Very different. Upstate New York is actually a lot like Western North Carolina in terms of geography and weather. I've got family up there. New York City, a whole different beast. There's so much going on, and you get to walk places and public transportation and all the rest of it. Very noisy.
Yeah.
Very crowded. The count is 2-2. That'll miss and gets away. What's? Oh, no, they're going to say it hit. What are they saying, Justice?
Hit by pitch, I think.
It hit him in the foot?
Yeah.
Okay. So, really, I would say Purvis and the Rhinos catch a break there, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Run was about to score.
Well, that'll load things up for our smooth fielding shortstop, Caden Barron, who also hit a tater yesterday.
Tater.
Once again, with the Gwen Stefani walk-up music that I appreciate, Barron with the 276 average coming into this game, and he does have 4 taters. So that was not a lonely tater yesterday. And it was not a lonely tater. Yeah, it was a communitarian tater. That ball misses upstairs 1-0. I'd like for him to get his 5th tater. Now we're going to have a conversation. And they're going to bring in the whole infield. This is going to be one of those, let's all talk about it. Now, I'm going to guess, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to guess the main topic of this conversation is going to be wanting to get this guy out without giving up any runs.
I think.
What about that?
I think you're right.
I think that probably that's what they're talking about.
Definitely.
Conversely, I would imagine that Coach Calhoun would like for Caden Barron to produce some runs here.
Yeah.
This is why they pay me the big bucks to analyze these games, folks. Anyway, the umpires break up that little powwow, that palaver. Had a lot of pirate-themed discourse yesterday. They bust out the palaver. Umpires don't like those conversations to last long, do they? They see that as like an extra talk.
Yeah.
They like to bust those up. They do it in the majors, too. They'll always be coming out. You guys finish up. Which we're going to talk about movie quotes later. One of my favorite moments from Bull Durham is that moment where the umpire busts them up as that pitch loops over for a strike. And they say that they're talking about what to get for a wedding present. A beautiful moment there. Okay, the count is 1-1 to Barron. Purvis now moves into his 25th pitch. That was a really pretty curveball he threw there to even that count. That's a swing and a foul tip, I reckon. So now Barron behind in the count 1-2. A lot of opportunities here. Ducks on the pond. It is a golden moment. Let's take advantage of it, Mr. Barron. And the pitch from Purvis. Oh, wow. A brave take.
Ooh.
A brave take to even the count at 2-2 on a pitch that I thought got him at the knees. What did you think, Justice?
Yeah, I thought he got him too.
But the umpire did not love it. So the count is even, and we catch a little break there. That is chopped down the third base side, and that's just he's going to tag the base. And wow. Hopefully, speaking of my scholarly interests, that play will not come back to haunt the Lancers. But the truth is, Purvis gets out of it. Your score after one full inning, the Gaston Rhinos won. Sorry, as Carter sets to jam us out. Lancers 0. All right, ladies and gentlemen, last song. Last song a lot of people love, John Fogerty, and they love Creedence Clearwater, and why not? An album called Centerfield that came out in 1985, back when I was at the tender age of 13. Quote, over the years, it seems like sports songs just didn't qualify in the rock and roll lexicon, noted baseball fan John Fogerty told the LA Times in 2011. There was that unwritten distinction. It was never considered rock and roll, end quote. After roughly a decade of being out of the music business, Fogerty decided to flip that idea on its head in 1985 and return with a song and album titled Centerfield. The song is about the sport, but it can easily be interpreted as something of a statement regarding Fogerty's defiant return to music after so many years. And you gotta love Creedence Clearwater, by the way. But here's the quote that they go with, where born again, there's new grass on the field. Wow. After all the depressing lyrics we've seen over the last 2 weeks, I will take that. Now, we're not going to do it yet because we're about to move into the second, but the first baseball movie quote of all time that we're going to look at, ladies and gents, is going to be for a movie called Pride of the Yankees. This website that we're using is the Sporting News, and you know what quote it's going to be, ladies and gentlemen. Don't play coy with me. The first 4 words, some of the most famous words in the history of sport. Today I consider myself, and I'm going to leave y'all to just think about that. as Mr. Dansky comes to the plate. Dansky, the second baseman for the Rhinos. Justice, I don't know. He did something yesterday too in game 2. They all did, didn't they?
Yeah.
See
14.
if you can find something there. Maybe comes in hitting 292. Richardson induces a pop up there. Garbedian with the catch. I love that kind of out. So now that'll bring up Lundqvist, who we saw make a great play at catcher, perhaps saved a run. Mr. Lundqvist is currently hitting in the 8th spot for the Rhinos. He does have 3 taters. He comes in hitting 264 with an on-base percentage above 400, which seems to be their whole frickin' team. That ball misses inside. That to me is your magic number. If you can walk in, if you can have an on-base percentage that's that high, I mean, you're rolling.
Yeah.
That's just the truth. And that pitch catches the corner for a strike. Overall, when it's all said and done, Justice, Gaston's team on-base percentage is 450.
Wow.
So that is not semi-hard. That is hard. That's dadgum approaching as that ball misses inside at 50% of the time. And what about Lancaster? I feel like we're going to have a decent number. A 401 on base percentage. So, that makes me happy. So and we did get 3 dudes on base in that bottom of the first. We just weren't able to bring anything home. Richardson is going to be in the dirt there. We'll take care of that. We'll bring some runs in as we move forward from here. Richardson prepares the deal. Hard throwing right-handed pitcher. The count is 3-1. Ooh, that's right in the clown's mouth to fill the count at 3-2. What kind of pitch was that? Almost like a slurve, like a slider. Maybe it was a cutter. I don't even know. It looked like it had some teeth on it, though. And that is going to miss up and in, and so sadly, tragically, Lundqvist walks. So now Armstrong will come to the plate. Armstrong, the third baseman. 288 average coming into today's game. Richardson dealing with a base runner here. We had the pleasure of meeting Jake's mom a couple of weeks ago, and that really is something. I've met a lot of the players' family members over the course of the last 2 seasons. The pitch from Richardson misses there. Probably my favorite single thing about doing this gig is just getting an opportunity to engage those family members. Count as 1-0. Some great people come out here to support their kids and their relatives, their friends. That ball misses in the dirt, 2-0. And I hope to see a nice contingent over at Lexington when we roll into the playoffs next weekend, Justice. There's going to be fans from all 6 teams. Some scouts probably too. It's a very festive environment. If any of you, live in the Lancaster area or anywhere south, like thinking about the Columbia area, as Richardson misses inside there, I highly recommend that you go to Lexington to check it out. Now, one thing I'll say is, last year you had to pay cash to get in. They didn't have a card taker. So bring some cash as Richardson hits the money there. Which nowadays you do kind of have to remind people, don't you, Justice? Don't you know, sometimes you'll go into a restaurant and they'll be like, yeah, we only take cash. It throws you a little bit, doesn't it?
I mean, I rarely carry cash on me.
And that misses. So 2 walks in a row. The only people really carrying cash these days are kids whose grandparents send and give them cash. Let's be honest. And somehow the grandparents seem, they haven't given up on cash. Some of you out here in Lancer Nation land listening are probably like, you know what? I'm sitting on a 20 right now. I got some cash.
That's so true, though, about the grandparents.
Oh,
it's
man.
the only time I get cash.
My youngest just turned 15, and all of a sudden there's a lot of cash going on. He's making fun of me and his mother for never having cash. All right, Richardson now with runners on first and second. Delivers. We're showing bunt here for Corbin, who homered to begin the game. showing some pop on the bat. That was his first dinger of the year, too. So Richardson's got to be remembering that. The count now 1-0. A little bit of control problems for Jake here, Justice.
Still a little early to tell, but we'll see what he has.
And that misses again, falling behind batters. 2-0 now with both Dansky and, not Dansky, but Lundqvist and Armstrong on the base paths and Corbin standing in. That catches the inside corner. Pretty pitch there to move the count to 2-1. Pride of the Yankees we'll be talking about in a moment, you guys, and I have to say, one of the more emotional baseball movies out there. And I don't even like the Yankees, but come on. That's also a strike at the knees to even the count at 2-2.
Our pitching coach is a diehard Yankees fan.
Is he?
Yep.
And Coach Calhoun's awfully slippery. He won't really reveal who his team is. He likes to ask us who our teams are and then point out how they're losing. Do you know who he pulls for?
Must be a losing team.
That pitch misses inside. I don't know. He was picking on me and Todd Lakin both last year. Lakin's Indians, or Guardians, excuse me, and my Braves. He's like, yeah, they're having a rough time. All right, full count. Uh-oh. Foul. But, when you've been around the game as much as Coach Calhoun has, maybe, I don't know, I wonder if it affects your ability to be a diehard fan of a team when you do it for a living all the time. And what do you think about that?
That's true. I mean,
do you guys as players have diehard, do the players follow teams passionately? Runners are going, but it doesn't matter because it's a walk, and now the bases are full of Rhinos on 3 consecutive walks.
There was only one out, wasn't there? And they took off.
Yeah, it was a double steal.
Interesting.
But again, it didn't matter. I do believe they would have been safe.
Yeah.
And now we're having an infield powwow with the bases full of Rhinos. Okay, so to answer my question there, do you see guys on the Lancer team, some pretty passionate fan bases?
Oh, very much so.
Who are some much-loved teams? Oh, wow, we're changing pitchers.
Wow. So backup first baseman Aiden Ray, he is a diehard Braves fan.
Okay.
A lot of the Canadians, they like their Toronto teams.
The Toronto Blue Jays,
Yep.
of course.
And then I remember, I forgot who, but I think one of the Canadians almost cried when they lost.
Well, they made the playoffs last year. So this exits Jake Richardson after, and we're going to have Luke Hardig.
Let's see. Yep.
Richardson didn't get the outing he wanted. A very talented pitcher, but just the strike zone eluded him a little bit right there. And I think Calhoun also, let's not use too much of his arm.
Yeah.
Got to be thinking about this weekend, don't you? A little bit.
Yeah, before the game, that was kind of established. The pitchers today aren't going to go more than probably 60, 70 pitches.
I would say that's just very smart because you're going to need Jake if you're going to make a run down there in Lexington.
And we play in less than a week.
We do play in less than a week. Luke Hardig comes in with a 5.40 ERA, 6 appearances, no decisions, 11 strikeouts. 11 strikeouts and 12 walks. Let's see what's some more information about him that I've got on hand. He is from Summerville, South Carolina, 6'1", played for Pinewood Prep. What do you know about Luke as far as his interests and personality? Because y'all stopped putting that on the website, which annoys me, by the way. What are some things about Luke that might be fun to know?
Loves fishing, great guy.
Okay.
Really funny. He's got that slightly inappropriate humor, but that's just hilarious. Just a great guy.
I like an inappropriate sense of humor, and I definitely appreciate the passion for fishing.
Yep.
That runs in my family as well. My brother, Michael Hamby, is a very passionate fisherman.
So it's so tranquil and just relaxing.
Does he like to do boat fishing, or does he like to wade around in the river and do the
I know he's shore fished a couple times. I think
he what fished?
Shore, like from the shore, like a shore fish. And then
okay.
I think his girlfriend might have a boat, and I think they've probably gone fishing a couple times.
That's not bad when you're dating a woman that's got a boat, you know. I like you for your personality, but what I really like is your boat. All right, Nicholson, this is not the hitter probably that we want to see here with the bases loaded. Joey Nicholson, the right fielder, but that's the hitter we got. Rhinos up 1-0, bottom second. Here's Hardig. What kind of pitches are we going to see him throw?
Fastball, curveball, changeup, maybe a slider.
All right. Well, he is ready to deal. And the first pitch is coming. And that misses inside. 1-0. Nowhere to put Nicholson, though.
I'm curious as what his velocity will be. He's been up to 91 in some games. Like
Really?
83.
You have said he's one of our hard throwers.
Yeah.
Ian Overholt. Here comes the pitch. Wow, that misses at the knees. That felt a little bit of a squeeze there.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we would even see Overholt today, given that we play again in a week and he pitched so
Probably not.
thoroughly yesterday. And there was well, he's your roommate. What did he say about his shoulder?
He said it nothing too serious. He said it kind of just like strained a little bit.
Uh-oh. Nicholson pokes that through the hole, and that is just a gentleman's base hit there. Ground ball. Gets the job done. That scores. Lundqvist. Well, that's good news about Overholt. We're going to need him as well. Ladies and gentlemen, now Crabtree will come up with the bases remaining juiced. He flied to left last time. This is our final game of the season. We're in a celebratory mood, irrespective of the score, because we have locked up third place, and we're playing a very good baseball team. But, boy, we'd like to get out of this inning with lessening the damage here. We have a new pitcher in Luke Hardig, and that first pitch misses low, 1-0. But the Rhinos' offense just has a lot of pop to it today. You can feel it, Justice. And
Yeah.
we squandered run opportunities, in our half of the first, too. And it makes me a sad panda. Here comes the pitch. That also misses low, 2-0.
I would say we have one of the best offensive conferences, period.
It's hard to imagine a better one.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine a better one based on games I've seen. We'll talk about that in a minute. And another reason that it'll be worth y'all's while to go to Lexington and see some baseball this weekend. Here comes the pitch. That's at the letters for a strike. I mean, Salcahatchee's young, and, they're definitely bringing up the rear. But we saw them swing. They scored some runs, too, in that series we swept them in. Meanwhile, and the count's 2-1 now. Sumter, Union, us, Gaston, Flodar, these are teams with real offensive pop. That's a swing and a miss. So a lot of pressure on the pitchers is what that means.
Oh, yeah.
Probably, from a pitcher's perspective, not the most fun to be in this division. Although, some guys like the challenge, though, right?
Yeah.
You want to play against the best. That's what Luke Garabedian was saying to us the other day as the count moves to 2-2. That is drilled into right, and it's off the wall. Cazorla with the throw. That is going to score 2 runs, a 2-run single, and that has opened up the lead a little bit, y'all. I bring bad tidings as far as the score. It's 4-0. My apologies. Not my fault, though. Crabtree's now on first, and I guess that's going to be Nicholson at third. Still 1 out. And here's David Nix, who had a single also in the last at-bat. So, Rhinos charging 4-0. Infield remains at double play depth. Calhoun perhaps hoping to end the inning right now. That ball misses outside.
It looks like Joshua Qualls is getting his first inning this season.
Sir?
Joshua Qualls at second base is getting his first appearance of the year.
Oh, we have switched second baseman.
Yes, I mean, maybe Lutz did kind of have a hamstring tweak.
That misses outside. It is still saying Lutz on Game Changer. Great call there. I have had Mr. Qualls for class, and he's a very energetic, a little bit of a cut-up, talented student. Tell us a little bit about Josh Qualls, now playing second base. What do we know about him?
I mean, he's one of the most interesting guys I know. Just unintentionally funny.
Yes.
Sometimes just in his own world, and it's just Qualls' world. We're living in it.
Qualls' world. I like that. I'll tell you one thing. He does the reading, and he comes in with stuff to say about it. And it is Qualls' world. It's stuff I wouldn't have thought of, too. That pitch catches the corner for a strike. What can we learn else about Josh? He is from Lorain, Ohio. Okay, he has played for a 4-year school. He transferred over from Kent State University.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
So that is super interesting. Here comes the pitch. Man, okay, so that'll load the bases. I hope, and maybe you can get a little information about Isaiah Lutz
Yeah, I'll probably
from some of the guys in the building here.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just like Coach Calhoun doesn't want to take any chances.
Yeah.
As Swanson now comes to the plate. Bases full of Rhinos again. Scores 4-0. Here comes the pitch that's going to miss inside, and so. Wow, the floodgates. To quote Led Zeppelin, when the levee breaks, we got no place to stay. Right now, Calhoun's still staying at double play depth, which is smart, I think. Like, let's see if we can't, escape. That's at the letters for a strike. Hardig throwing awfully hard. I would like to see what these young kids call a velo as well. I mean, that ball just jumps off his hand.
I can actually figure that out in like 5 seconds.
Okay. That is hammered in the center. Will it drop? Yes, it will. It's a base hit. That'll score 1 run. It's a little bit of station-to-station action there. That'll be an RBI single for Mr. Swanson. Scoring, I reckon, Nicholson as I try to keep up with all this offense. We are on the cusp of batting around. Hendrickson flied to center, and he is the 9th hitter of this. Well, if you're a Lancer, unfortunate inning here. We are only in the second. Rhinos up 5-0, threatening to get lots more, though. Bases full of them. We have switched pitchers. We have switched second baseman. And now the infield beginning to creep. It looks like at least McLaughlin, that's a strike. I don't know, Justice, and it looks like he's trying to figure out some velo, but I don't know if Finn is smelling bunt or what he's doing. He looks distrustful over there at third. The pitch incoming, and the batter is hit. Wow. So things not really going our way, ladies and gentlemen, as that is going to be an RBI for Hendrickson, scoring Crabtree. Moving the score to 6-0, and now back to the guy who started all this with a pop to Garabedian, Dansky. Infield remaining at double play depth. The score is 6-0. Hardig, that was really the first bad pitch I'd seen him throw. The hit batsman. He misses up top. What are you learning about his velo?
The velo's actually moved from now to downstairs.
Okay. The radar gun is downstairs. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That count is 1-0. That is going to land in the gap as well. In fact, it is a ground rule double. As Cazorla raises his hands in exasperation. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, furry little creatures from Alpha Centauri. That is going to move the score to 8-0. And I believe we're going to see a pitching change. While we're doing that, let's talk about movie quotes. I think Blake and I were excited to do this one. We're going to get a pitching change anyway. Number 25, prior to the Yankees. The setup, you know the story. Lou Gehrig was the indestructible player who was felled by an incurable disease. This scene depicts Gehrig's speech in front of the fans and players at Yankee Stadium on July 4th, 1939. It was a real speech, by the way. It really happened. I've been walking on ball fields for 16 years, and I've never received anything but kindness and encouragement from you fans. I've had the great honor to have played with these great veteran ball players on my left. Murderers Row, our championship team of 1927. I've had the further honor of living with and playing with these men on the right, the Bronx Bombers, the Yankees of today. I've been given fame and undeserved praise by the boys behind the wire in the press box, my friends, the sports writers. I have worked under the 2 greatest managers of all time, Miller Huggins and Joe McCarthy. I have a mother and a father who fought to give me health and a solid backing in life. I have a wife, a companion for life, who has shown me more courage than I have. People all say that I've had a bad break, but today I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. The website says why it's the best. Babe Ruth himself was standing behind Gary Cooper right in the frame at the start of the speech. That's a cool touch. This movie was produced in 1943, just 2 years after Garrick died, and 4 years after his iconic speech. Why isn't it higher? Because Garrick himself said it better, and nothing Cooper could have ever done would have matched it. And this is about movie quotes. Who we got on the mound now, Justice?
Looks like we're gonna have Matthew Connor.
Matthew Connor, he's always a reliever for us, right?
Yep.
And Matthew Connor is number. He had a big series against Sumter in relief, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah, came in late. Very close game.
Number
job.
16. All right. So the hard-throwing righty, Matthew Connor. Hardig, I guess we would just say it was not his day either.
They said he was around 86, 85.
Okay, so he was throwing hard, but all right. So the hitter is, my goodness, it's Lundqvist. Back to the game. Runners on second and third. 8-0 is your score. And wow, ladies and gentlemen, it's a rout. It's a rout, and we've barely had a chance to even pick up bats. Strike one.
There we go.
Now, this is a great opportunity for Coach Calhoun to get a look at these relievers, though, moving into the weekend. Not that that's strike two, actually. Not that we want to be behind 8-0, of course, but at the same time, he needs to see how these pitchers are looking. I mean, that's the silver lining I'm going to find. That misses on the outside corner. The infield remains back. It does not. That misses high. Matthew Connor's thing doesn't say where he's from. All it says is East Side High School. That could be anywhere. Blake says Greenville. I think we've had this conversation before. This is deja vu. We surmise Greenville, South Carolina. Blake knows the state of South Carolina, ladies and gentlemen. Taylor's, he says, was around Greenville. Yeah, nobody knows the area better. See Verinia getting some great shots with her super camera of Connor on the mound, I would surmise, is what she's getting here. That ball is chopped to third. McLaughlin does field it, but he can't make the play. Wow, I guess they're going to rule that as single, but I do not know. Either way, it scores a run. And guys, I don't even know who it scores, I guess. Hendrickson scores that run. And now there are runners at first and third for Armstrong. I'm just going to call it a single because why not? Okay, so Armstrong with runners in the corners. It's a rout again, 9-0. Geez, again, we're looking forward to the tournament, hoping for a different outcome than we've been getting right here. How does this affect the guys, Justice? I mean, is Armstrong showing bunt? I mean, is there a way in which this could be hurtful for us as we look ahead to – and, of course, we still are going to get our chances to swing the bat.
Yeah, because eventually if we play Gaston, I mean, if you think about the game where you maybe just let up 9 or if whatever the score is by the end, if it's not favorable, it can kind of chip away that confidence.
That ball misses high. So some psychological work is going to need to be done here by Coach Calhoun in this disaster of an inning. And y'all have to say, this has been the Achilles heel of Lancaster all year. We've had a very good year. We're finishing third in the conference, and all that good stuff. And, in fact, we came in 15-14 in conference. So the worst we can do is finish 500 in a very tough conference. But I've just got to say, games we've lost over and over again, I've noticed, it's been just one inning.
Yeah.
One inning gets us. And that could be what's happened here with our second inning. That pitch is in the dirt, but no one's going anywhere. It's ball 4 anyway. So now bases are going to be loaded for Corbin, who walked last time. And just getting the ball over the plate is so important at this level of play. You know, making guys hit the ball. All right, 1 out. 9-0 Rhinos is your situation. Top of the second inning here. Lovely, breezy, calm, doomsday corner. That pitch is going to miss on the outside corner. 1-0. That's high. 2-0 the count. And Coach Schreiner is going to come out to talk. Hello, Verinia. Let's see if we can't hook her up with the microphone and ask her some questions about the atmosphere on the field here. Let's introduce everybody. I'm going to go ahead here. We're in the you can stand right here. Yeah, 9-0 score. Verinia, introduce yourself to Lancer Nation. Say hello to everyone.
Hi, everyone. I'm Verinia.
And tell us a little bit about your role for USCL Athletics.
I'm just a content creator here. I promote like the games and post on Facebook as much as I can.
She posts on Facebook, sometimes Instagram too.
Yeah,
and you also are a student athlete. And tell us a little bit about the team you play for.
Yes, I play for the soccer team here at USCL, and I also post on their Instagram page for the boys and girls soccer team.
It's, what do they call you? An outside forward?
I'm a
Okay, I don't know the position.
No,
Midfield.
Yeah, I play outside, center, forward, a lot of positions.
That ball is lofted into right. It's going a long way. Cazorla drifting. He makes a leaping catch.
Wow.
So that's going to be a sacrifice fly. Nice catch there by Cazorla. So now we're going to have runners at first and third. After that, Ribby. Tell us a little bit more about your what you do as a center, forward, midfielder, whatever.
Not much. I run a lot. That's my
Yes.
I run a lot. I dribble a lot. I like, I make a lot of assists, or I try to make as much as assists.
You guys had an amazing season last
Yeah,
fall.
we
What
did.
You made it how far?
Till second rounds of.
Was it regional finals?
Yeah,
Somewhere in like Central Florida. There's the throw from Gildan on the run. It's going to be safe. We have a stolen base on top of all our other problems, ladies and gentlemen. The second inning, it's 10-0. So, okay, you're down there on the field taking pictures. You're getting some great shots of the players.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like before this season, you knew about as much about baseball as my cup of coffee does, right?
Yeah.
What are you learning? What do you think about the game, what you're seeing and experiencing?
As I'm going to the games more, I
Strike
find
one.
it more interesting because now I understand the game, so like I actually like watching it instead of like being like, oh, this is boring.
What's something that stands out to you that you kind of didn't expect from being here live at the baseball scene?
What I didn't expect.
Yeah, just like, you've
energy-
never been to the game. Okay.
Yeah, the energy of the team, like the baseball boys, like I just never knew they had that much energy and like trash talking to each other, and like I didn't know it was like that type of game.
Yeah, do you not have a lot of trash talking on the soccer field?
I do, but I didn't know like it'd be not between like
That's a strike on the outside corner.
bench, you know?
Yeah. Well, obviously in soccer, it's like everyone's running all the time. That ends the inning, actually. We'll keep Vinny on the mic. It's a little different, right? Because you're all running, and the trash talking is probably more just whoever's guarding you.
Right.
Would that be right?
Yeah. I would say it's mostly more on the field.
Whereas if you're in the dugout, you're just like kind of chattering out.
It's the other bench players. Like,
Exactly.
That's awesome, I think.
Well, good. I'm
It
glad.
lifts up the like energy and like the spirit during the game.
And you and Justice both. We talked to Justice a little bit at the beginning of the game. Being a student here at USCL, finishing up your first year, what about that?
Oh, sorry.
Your classes as a student.
Oh, the classes.
Yeah, the classes. Remember those? What about that?
Yeah, it's going good. It's just hard. Classes are hard.
You're going to be relieved when it's all over in about a week and a half?
Yes, I'm so excited. When our last day, I'm sad about our last day on Monday. Tomorrow.
My last day is tomorrow. Vernia has to say she's sad that it's going to be over because I'm sitting right here. But
no, I am. It's my favorite class.
She's been an outstanding student in English, and I'm sure all her subjects. Thank you for joining us up here.
No, thank you for having me.
Let's get a bunch of pictures, and maybe you could come back and visit us again a little bit later.
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome. That was Miss Verenia Delgado. Well, we're going to get the hit again, Justice, against Purvis. We're down 10-0, though. You ready to do another baseball quote, Blake, while we're at least get started with one? Mr. Baseball. The setup. Jack Elliott, aging star player, has been traded from the Yankees to a club in Japan. Parentheses. Let's just pretend that could actually happen. And he's finding the training part of baseball in Japan to be a bit of a shock. He's doing a workout next to Max Dubois, another American on the team, and he says this: "We're not athletes, we're baseball players." Uh-oh. What do you think about that, Justice? It's a comedy line. Obviously, they don't mean it. You guys are athletes, as Cazorla comes to the plate. All right, so Cazorla with his first at bat of the day. So much has happened that it's all been bad. Ball one outside. That reminds me of one of my very favorite movies. Really, I can't think of a single bad movie ever made that was about bowling. I can only think of like 3 bowling movies, and they're all awesome. So if I was an aspiring screenwriter, I'd make a bowling movie. The Big Lebowski, great bowling movie.
Oh, okay.
Kingpin, great bowling movie. There's another one I'm forgetting. That's going to be upstairs. But anyway, one of the lines in Kingpin is the guy comes in and he's looking at all these bowlers, this big tournament, and they're all just kind of sitting there, and they all look like me. The guy's like, "I've never been in the presence of so many great athletes." It's just like all these ballers. And there's a striker that kind of. So that line kind of reminded me of that from Mr. Baseball. All right, Cazorla's looking at a 3-1 count. Is that right, Justice? While we goof off?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay, we're only in the second inning. That'll fill the count 3-2. Purvis still in there, of course. That was a long wait for Purvis. What about that as a pitcher? 10 runs you had to wait and watch.
I mean, we could capitalize off it now. He might be a little rusty or a little cold.
Cazorla takes one for a ride in the center, but it is caught right at the fence. Put a charge into it, but no dice. That'll bring up Dylan Baker, who, by all accounts, was on fire yesterday. Dylan hit 3 home runs on the day. He's twirling his bat like a baton, feeling pretty good. Patrolling center field. So Baker comes up with 1 down. Bottom of the second. Lancer's trailing 10-0. It's so much fun to get a chance to work with you, Justice, and Verenia and the other students, getting to know you guys, seeing you thrive in this sort of outside the classroom environment. That pitch pours over for a strike. What about you, like sort of being around faculty and staff in a different way? Does it change your perspective of the school a little bit when you just kind of hanging up here in the booth with Blake and me and Verenia and just, that level of interaction as that ball misses inside?
I loved it, being able to be in a professional setting. Even when I did the presentation and I kind of bummed a ride on Verenia's great slideshow, it was great being in a professional environment and kind of seeing how you navigate yourself.
Yeah, that was Justice's referencing. We talked about this during the Sumter series as we closed up spring break. Justice is referencing the Lancer Excellence, celebration of Lancer Excellence, put together by our great librarians, Kenzie Limhouse and Rebecca Freeman, as well as Ashley Scryer, Patrick Lawrence, professor of English. So many people helped put that show together, and boy, it was quite a show. With people brought posters showing research in science and history and sociology, cross disciplines, and during that event, Verenia and Justice, you guys gave a talk to a pretty packed room. Blake and I were there, and I mean, it drew a big crowd. Where you guys talked about what we called out of the classroom. Baker rips one down the line foul. What do we call it? Out of the classroom experience or media or something. And I mean, what about that? Tell us a little bit about, realizing, oh, wow, what I'm doing here does have an intellectual and academic, I can use this on a resume. I can build on this. And,
Yeah.
you know, I was hoping that both of you would see it that way.
It was nerve-wracking for sure, but Verinia for sure carried that presentation. And
Well, what's funny is, ladies and gentlemen out in Lancer land, they had to do it twice.
Yeah,
Did it twice. Did a great job.
Tell us a little bit about that. Blake, from your perspective, what do you think, Blake? I mean, you're working with students in a different way, too, right? As like the sort of the lead tech staff member on campus. What's it been like for you to sort of work with Verinia and Justice and some of the other student athletes over the last couple of years?
I mean, it was great just to have a chance to kind of share a little bit of my knowledge, and maybe help them learn something that they didn't know from before. So that's quite enjoyable.
I think it's great. I mean, the skills Blake brought Verinia. You brought Verinia out here, showed her how to set up the cameras.
And we did that, and we did set up a live stream in my office one day, and I walked away, and she did the whole thing by herself.
Wow.
So
You know, and we're going to definitely have her back next year. I would imagine, as Baker continues to stay alive, that we'll probably be seeing Justice on the field.
yep,
next
unless I hit the
year.
lottery.
So, unless he wins the lottery, he says, he'll be on the field. So probably we'll have a different redshirt freshman up here with me, and we'll be celebrating Justice's accomplishments on the field. Yeah, Blake, go
if
ahead.
you win the lottery, you can build us a field there, Justice.
Yeah,
Oh, I'll build the nicest field you
Well,
ever seen.
while we have you on here, Blake, you're a little bit more in the know than I am. Do we not have plans to build our own field in the next few years for Lancaster?
There are plans for our own facility north of town, and I'm hearing like 2 to 3 years is when that'll will come true.
So Baker is rung up there looking as Welch now comes to the plate. Yeah, right now we're allowed to and enjoying playing on Doomsday Corner, which is Lancaster High's baseball field. And they've been very generous with the space, and we certainly enjoy that partnership and helping them maintain the beauty of this field. But it will be nice to have our own baseball field. I mean, certainly as the pitch to Welch, he hits one a mile high, and the catcher drifts, and that's going to be the third out. I would say that soccer field that we have right now is just state-of-the-art and gorgeous. And it's right there on the campus where faculty, staff, and students can just walk over and watch the game.
Yeah.
The gym in which the volleyball team plays, it's right there on the campus. And not that you have to drive so far. Lancaster's a small town. But it's different when you're just walking, you know, like, I don't even know, like 200 yards
Yeah.
versus driving. And, you know, if you feel like you're on the campus. And so I look forward to us having that as a baseball team.
I mean, it's beautiful the way the hill's set up, and you can watch the games, the soccer games.
Yeah. The soccer experience, if you haven't had it yet, ladies and gentlemen, it's a treat. You know, as a fan, you can kind of just hang out on the sidelines, which is a little different than going to a baseball game. That kind of surprised me when the players and the family members of the players were like, yeah, just kind of hang out right here. And I'm like, but what if the ball hits me? What do I do? We're moving to the bottom of the top of the third. I don't even know who's hitting, but I believe it's going to be Crabtree. And, Justice, this is Connor still pitching?
Yep, Matthew Connor.
All right, Blake, when we get to the next movie quote, it's going to be a banger. It's from one of the best baseball movies, indeed, nay, one of the best movies of all time ever made, Field of Dreams. So I want all of you out there in baseball land to be thinking about what quote it might be, because there's about 1 million of them from that movie that you could pick. And we'll talk a little Field of Dreams. The movie came out in the 80s, you know, and Crabtree will be the hitter. The false belief that men aren't supposed to cry has always bothered me as a sensitive humanities English professor. But I will say that one thing about men, even the most stoic of men, they actually get annoyed at other men who do not cry when they see Field of Dreams.
Gotta
Like
shed a tear.
it's like you're supposed to as a man, right? That ball catches the outside corner. That last moment, do you want to have a catch, Dad?
Shed a tear.
And the dad says, it's Ray Liotta. No, Ray Liotta plays Joe Jackson. Who plays the dad? I can't remember who plays the dad.
Cosner, right? What's
No,
his name?
Cosner's the son that fell off. Can you remember who played the Cosner's dad when he comes back, the ghost? He says, yeah, I'd like that. And then they start playing catch. And as a man, you're supposed to feel the feelings then.
Was
like,
it Burt Lancaster that played his dad.
No, he played Moonlight Graham, the guy who became a doctor. All right, so Connor dealing here. He's up 0-2 while we talk Field of Dreams.
Ooh.
That pitch was awfully close. Great movie, that Field of Dreams. Anyway, gender stereotypes, all of which I disagree with, by the way, notwithstanding. All right, counts 1-2. That ball's drilled hard to right field. Cazorla incoming.
Nice.
Did he make the catch?
He did.
Yes, sir. Fantastic catch by Cazorla. Wow, I haven't had a chance to see him play much right field, but that was
Yeah, he's very impressive.
that was a little bit of like Michael Harris level, Money Mike kind of catch there. That'll bring up Nix, who has singled and walked. Well, guys, when you're down 10-0.
Dwyer Brown played John Kinsella.
Okay, Dwyer Brown. Well, I'm a movie buff, and I don't know if I know that name. That ball, Connor.
I had to look it up on Wikipedia.
Connor emerging as a bright spot for Calhoun here. He's throwing bullets, Justice, and he's done this before.
Mm-hmm.
He has a high ERA, but it must have been one game or something because I like the cut of his jib.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about ERA is one game can kind of just tank it.
Yeah, that ball slurves in for a strike as well. Looks like he's got a pretty wicked high curve.
Yeah.
Kind of gets you at the letters, and it moves almost like, I don't even know, 9-3 to right-handed hitters. He throws another one of those, and it gets fouled out of play. He's also, are my eyes deceiving me, or is he sporting a wicked mustache?
Oh yeah, he's got the best stash on the team.
The best stash on the team. Are mustaches back in? I mean, you're sporting a mustache.
I
Are
thought
they-
it was an
for
80s,
young
90s thing,
people?
but I don't know. Maybe it is. It's
What do you
coming
think,
back.
Verinia? Do you like a mustache? That ball's up.
Mustache.
Do you like a mustache? Blake wears a mustache. I just, when you see me like this,
Yeah,
ladies
she's gonna
and
offend the
gentlemen,
room if
it
she
just
says
means
no.
I'm too lazy to shave. Like, I tend to not. Yeah. She
Do
can
you
always
like a
say no
stash?
comment. I mean, like that ball misses. Vernia says she doesn't mind a mustache, but she prefers clean shaven. Maybe this is a taste thing, ladies and gentlemen.
The
This
baby
is why
face.
this is what makes the world go round. Here, but yeah, Connor has one of those mustaches that's up high. If you're going to wear one, it needs to be like that. Let's talk about some iconic baseball mustaches of all time. What about Raleigh Fingers? I challenge you all to look up, Google Raleigh Fingers and go to images. That was like the classic handlebar. You should on your phone type in Raleigh Fingers. What about some other classic mustaches? Goose Gossage.
What?
Goose Gossage was a relief pitcher for the Yankees and Padres. He had one of those big old bushy mustaches.
I love that name.
Yeah,
Goose
Goose.
Gossage.
Yeah, we're looking at Raleigh Fingers. Look at that. What do you think about that?
See, that's a mustache.
That's a 70s, like if he went to a formal event, his suit would be brown with checkers on it. As Connor rings him up there, strike 3. Nicely done. Yeah, Raleigh Fingers to me always had the best mustache in all of baseball history.
Me and you have to come back with that mustache next year in the booth.
Well, I do not wear a mustache. When you see me like this, it's because I'm too lazy to shave. I'm telling you. Like when I'm rolling, when I'm at my best, I tend to be clean shaven. That's just. But even back when I worked in the restaurant business, my boss had to give me grief because I don't like shaving. That's the problem. I don't like doing
me neither.
it. Strike 1. We're talking about all kind of things today. That's what happens when you're down 10-0, and you're also in a good mood because you're in third place, baby. No matter what happens, that ball swerved in for a strike. Strike 1. Yes, we're going to be in third place no matter what happens today, which means we're going to be facing Salkehatchie in the first game, which is about as good as it's going to get in this division, Justice.
Yeah.
No win is guaranteed, but that's a better start than if we were facing Sumter or Union.
Yeah.
And certainly better than starting against Gaston or Flodar as Connor pours one off the corner there for a ball.
Brittany, who would you say your conference rival was?
Yeah, of course Flodar and Gaston got buys. But a bye doesn't mean that much when you're only playing it's a 3-day tournament and everybody's collapsing into
Where's that
everybody
at?
else. So it counts 1 and 2. Sky high. McLaughlin gives chase in foul territory, but I believe it will avail of nothing. I'm trying off memory to think of other great baseball mustaches. Man, am I going to have to Google this? I am. Great baseball mustaches. What happens when you type that in? Google is still... And that is also fouled deeply out of play to the left. I should know more.
All right, then.
Okay, Don Mattingly is noted as having a great mustache.
Don Mattingly.
Goose Gossage.
Goose Gossage.
Oh, there's a Bleacher Report. The 50 greatest mustaches in MLB history.
There we go. Perfect.
It is, and oh my gosh. Honorable mention, Bill Buckner. Look at that one.
Oh, man.
It makes a perfect semi.
He's got some
circle.
thick eyebrows, too.
Yeah, he's got the big old bushy eyebrows. Look at that. He looks sensitive. He looks like he could also be like reading poetry to you by the fire, doesn't he?
That's an interesting take. I like that.
Todd Worrell, I remember this guy. St. Louis Cardinal hard thrower. Connor now has a 2-2 count, by the way. 2 down. Top third.
Ooh.
Oh, but that hits an ow.
Right
and
in the hip.
That's an ouchness. Let's pause to hope that Swanson is okay. Where did it hit him, Justice?
I think right in the hip bone.
The manager's out. Caitlin Krychek, our MUSC representative and trainer, is also out. She also patrols the sidelines for y'all's games, right, Verania? And does she also look out for the other team in your games as well? And so I love that about Caitlin. She's like right out there. And really, I think with her, she gets final decision over whether guys stay in games, even on other teams. And, like I saw her rule a guy out for Sumter because of concussion protocol. She just didn't like the way he was answering questions.
Yeah.
This, yes, good. Swanson's up. And he's walking, and Caitlin looks, well, she's smiling. Swanson is talking to the umpire. Will he take first base? I wouldn't be surprised to see a pinch runner given the score and everything else, but no. All right, that is, thank heavens that he's okay. Connor throws awfully hard, so being hit by his pitches would not be.
Yeah, it's going to hurt tomorrow.
Tomorrow is when it's going to hurt. And we're moving into exam week, too. Can you imagine sitting there taking an exam with a big bruise on your hip? My classes do not do exams.
Final
Just
essay?
final essays. Yeah, I do quizzes every day for reading to make sure they'll read.
What's the word requirement?
The word requirement on my papers tend to be about 1250.
Okay.
4.5 pages of good, solid writing. We write about all kind of things. We write about literature. We write about ghost stories. We write about
That'd be fun.
movies we like. As long as they'll write from the heart, I'm pretty happy about it. The count's 1-0. So Todd Worrell, you can go. What about Todd Jones, Detroit Tiger? Yes. Dave Steeb, speaking of the Blue Jays, I used to love this guy. Played for Toronto in the 80s and 90s. He was a heck of a pitcher. What about Brian Wilson? He's still pitching. He's got the big beard for the Giants. One of his nicknames is the Beard. That's sharply hitting the hole between first and second. Swanson goes station to station. 2 down, but now runners at first and second. Rick Sweet. That's a good name. And look at that. Just a straight across the face kind of mustache. A block.
Wow.
Davey Lopes. That was a dangerous man right there. Played for the Dodgers, among other teams. Beautiful mustache. Reggie Jackson. Well, there's a hero. That man's a hero. 1967 to 1987, played for 20 years. And if you don't know much about Reggie Jackson, ladies and gentlemen, you got to Google this man as Connor pours a strike in there. Here's a player I've only lightly heard of, Bob Molinaro, but I do dig the stash. Notice how many of these guys are children of the 70s. Because the 70s was an era of mustaches and cigarettes hanging out of your mouth as that ball pours off.
That would have been the perfect time to be a teenager to me.
You think?
Yeah. 70s,
Justice
80s.
is always wishing he was older. Like, he's not enjoying the moment.
No.
Fred McGriff, the crime dog.
The crime dog.
Great mustache. That was his nickname. McGriff.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, that ball's put a charge in center field, and I believe we have a tater. Golly. That'll be his 5th RBI on the day for Dansky. I don't even know what the score is anymore. Is it 15-0? 13-0? Okay.
I think the 5th is the.
Yeah, we're only in the 3rd inning, and Gaston putting on a show, maybe making a statement as we look ahead to the tournament, Justice.
Yeah.
Anyway, I invite everybody. I'm not going to go through this whole list, but I invite everybody to go to the
Who's won?
An article called Number 1 is Raleigh Fingers.
Okay.
Let's not get carried away. The 50 greatest mustaches in MLB history. Back to movies, as we're just getting clobbered here. Yes, Field of Dreams. The quote, "You guys are guests in my corn." Well, that could be a double entendre if you wanted it to be. The setup, Shoeless Joe Jackson has just invited Terrence Mann into the cornfield beyond the outfield wall of Ray Kinsella's baseball field. Kinsella wants to go, and he's a bit upset. Kinsella, wait a second. Another deep fly ball to left. Welch has it, and that will mercifully end, my gosh, the 3rd inning. Anyway, why him? I built this field. You wouldn't be here if it weren't for me.
13-0.
Terrence Mann, I'm unattached. You have a family. Kinsella, I know, but I want to see what's out there. I want to see it, because if y'all remember, it was like heaven or whatever in the cornfield. Jackson, but you're not invited. Kinsella, not invited? What do you mean I'm not invited? That's my corn out there. You guys are guests in my corn. Why it's the best? I know it's not in the top 10 most memorable or iconic moments in the movie, but the absurdity of that statement is amazing. All right. Number 22 is a movie called 61. You're right, don't talk to them. Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle are deep into their chase of Babe Ruth's hallowed single-season home run mark of 60. Maris is frustrated because the New York baseball writers are turning on him, twisting his words into explosive headlines. He says maybe he should stop doing interviews, but Mantle tells him the secret is he's got to give the writers something to write about. Maris, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Mantle, I don't know, Raj. I mean, I've been living with you most of the season, and I don't know nothing about you. Maris, well, I was raised in Fargo. I played baseball, basketball, football. I married my high school sweetheart. Chose baseball. I played in the minors. Came up with Cleveland, traded to Kansas City, and then here I am. Mantle, you're right. Don't talk to them. Why it's the best? It's a movie worth a rewatch if it's been a minute since you've seen it. And, yeah, next is going to be Bull Durham, and I know y'all love Bull Durham if you've got a soul. We're going to save that and come back to baseball. Purvis remains on the mound, Justice. In the middle of all this scoring, it's kind of hard to believe. But we're at the top of the order again. Except for this time, it's going to be Josh Qualls. Josh Qualls with his first at-bat of my announcing experience. And his first swing is rocketed to right, but it will be caught. Nice swing there. So he did not get cheated. Any word, Carter, on Isaiah and how he's doing? Okay. Verinia, see if you can ask a player on the maybe using a radar gun if anybody's heard if Isaiah's all right. Like, would you mind wandering down there? Just ask a guy like, hey, what have you heard about Lutz?
I can ask the radar guys.
Here comes Zimmerman to the plate. Zimmerman popped out to. Now guys are just asking from the window. That popped a second. Well, hamstring's what we thought. The question is the severity, and that ball hits Zimmerman. He'll walk. We're hoping Isaiah's okay. Because, boy, we're going to need him this weekend, and also just because we like the young man, and we don't want any injuries on any team. Here comes McLaughlin, who grounded out to first in his first at-bat. You know, we should put some runs on the board, Justice.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like, come on. The score is 13-0 in the bottom of the third. Our last day of the season. We're 15-14 overall in the conference. Purvis misses outside there. And the thunder of our order here is up. We're having a little bit of fun up here in the booth today, though. And not only that, but the weather is gorgeous, and the people seem to be enjoying themselves as well. I don't know how many people we've got. I should know soon how many people attended this game. Usually the student worker who's taking tickets will come tell me at the end of 3. It does feel a little lighter than yesterday. The count is now 2-0. And McLaughlin swings hard, but that ball's way out of play. You know, that one might have been that magic ball we're waiting on to land on us. Like, if only geometry worked differently.
That's so funny. I was thinking the exact same thing as it was in the air.
If only. Physics and geometry, a little Angry Birds. That ball misses low. I just feel like one of us catching a ball while we're announcing, that would be the dream. It's better than having a house and a family and a job, right? Like, if you caught a ball while announcing, what else is left in the world, in the universe to do? The count is now 3-1. McLaughlin takes a strike there at the letters to fill the count at 3-2. But there's, physics almost says it's impossible that a ball would reach us.
You said if it hit the fence.
Maybe, if it squibbed. I don't know. Hard to imagine. So the count now full. We've got a runner on first. And McLaughlin hits that awfully hard. Will it be fair is the question.
Wow. No, but.
It had the home run distance, but not the straightness.
Yeah.
You've got to be straight.
Yeah.
Within the lines. Hooked it foul. Count remains 3-2. We are in the bottom of the third inning, ladies and gentlemen, here at lovely Doomsday Corner. Your friendly neighborhood Lancers trail 13-0 in the bottom of the third as Gaston has come out roaring.
Oh.
And he went. That was ball 4, too, so that's unfortunate that he swung at that. So that'll be 2 outs with Luke Garabedian, who walked back in the early days, known as the first inning. And so here's Zimmerman at first, Garabedian at the plate with 2 outs, and Gilden on deck. That ball misses outside. Gaston came out to make a statement today. Justice, what do you think? You've seen Flodar, you've seen Gaston. Which do you feel like, Gaston is a threat to win this whole thing? Or do you think Flodar are running away with it for a reason?
No, I think Gaston has a chance, to, just like we do. Just comes down to how you play that day.
This is a thing that is very true about baseball, and one of my favorite things about it is the count is even. Based on what I've seen, it's pretty easy for me to imagine 5 out of the 6 teams. No offense to Salkehatchie, but they probably are the hardest to imagine. As Garabedian, a rare bright spot offensively for us here, with a base hit, moves around to third. Union with that star pitcher that they have, and with a robust offense, as Gilden comes up now. Sumter with just great defense and a strong offense, and us with the explosive offense and pitchers that can sometimes shut down an offense. I could imagine a team other than Flodar winning that region. What I don't know, guys, is does the winner of the regular season make it to the playoffs even if they don't win the tournament, or is it just one team?
Yeah.
So Flodar, if they don't win that tournament, is out, even though they were ranked like 4th or whatever it is.
Yep.
That is a lot of pressure
on
everybody, and that factors in, right?
Yeah.
So he strike one here. Gilden with runners at the corners, a chance to put some numbers on the board for the boys in blue. Let's see if he can do it. Your score is 13-0. And that is a pretty pitch from Purvis. Did you say it was groovy? That was.
It's
Yeah, just
groovy.
a disgusting curveball. Yeah,
Should
it
bring
was
that back.
groovy. It was, well, we're talking about mustaches in the 70s. Why not use the word groovy? Groovy, man. Brady Bunch. Oh, we're breaking out the bunch. That ball's lofted into center right. They're giving chase, and they're there. That's caught in right. All right. Carter with the comment that it sucks. All right. Number 21 on the movie list, one of the best movies ever made. If you've never seen it, get some culture. Bull Durham. The line is, "I'm just happy to be here." The setup, Nuke LaLoosh is like a little puppy, so happy to be experiencing success finally, and happy to be on a winning streak. He hops up to Crash Davis's seat on the bus. Nuke, "I love winning, man. I effing love winning. You know what I'm saying? It's like better than losing." Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Winning is better than losing. He says, "Teach me something new, man. I need to learn." Crash, "You got something to write with? Good. It's time to work on your interviews." Nuke, "My interviews? What do I got to do?" Crash, "You're going to have to learn your cliches. You're going to have to study them. You're going to have to know them. They're your friends. Write this down. We've got to play them one gay at a time." Nuke, "Got to play. That's pretty boring, you know." Crash, "Of course it's boring. That's the point. Write it down." Nuke, "One day at a time." Crash, "I'm just happy to be here. Hope I can help the ball club." I know. Write it down. "I just want to give it my best shot, and the good Lord willing, things will work out." Nuke, "Good Lord willing." Crash, "Things will work out." Now, guys, I'm going to add here, if you've seen that movie, the enjoyment Coster has saying these ridiculous lines on his face is great acting. Okay, back to the writing, why it's the best. Look, this list isn't just about the best one-liners. We're looking at the best run of quotes and the best scenes, too. With a movie like Bull Durham with a damn near perfect script, it's impossible to break it down to individual lines. And this is one of the most iconic scenes ever in a baseball movie. When we come back, we'll be talking about a movie called $1 Million Arm, which I confess I've never seen. Have you guys seen that?
$1 Million Arm?
Yeah. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how long we're going to get here of baseball. I mean, if the fifth ends like this, we're going to have to go home. Connor remains on the mound as we move into the top of the fourth. And the hitter's going to be Armstrong. And at this point, I'm going to step away from a moment and let Verinia, Justice, and Blake talk to y'all a little bit while I go refill my water. Just about the game. You can take over play-by-play, Justice?
Yep.
We'll put Verinia on color/fun. All right, so have a seat, Miss Delgado. Here's how it goes. You know how it goes. This is the ear and the mic, okay? I'll see you guys in a minute.
So Matthew Connor now with the 1-1 count. That'll miss up for ball number 2.
How does the scoreboard or this thing work?
Just start writing random stuff.
Just random stuff?
Yeah.
I don't understand any of this.
Don't feel bad.
I don't know what it means either. That's why I focus on the text.
I always see you guys writing things, or you just scribble.
Like, you know what any of that means?
No.
Yeah, no, me neither. And that'll be ball 4.
It's a beautiful day today. Like, it was way better than yesterday. Yesterday was so hot.
Yeah, it was hot in here, too.
The sun was beaming. Today's like there's a wind, a fresh air.
I'll do this. Now to bat for Gaston is number 18. And that'll be Ty Corbin.
Where do you see that?
That'll be strike number 1.
Oh, Corbin.
And Matthew Connor will drop that in for strike 2, now bringing it to an 0-2 count. Vernia, in your opinion, who has the cooler jerseys?
I To be honest, Gaston.
Wow.
It
Alright.
looks. I like the color.
Beautiful pitch for a strikeout. The yellows, the golds.
Yeah. Oh, the gold?
That's gold, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like button up too. I think that's really nice.
Oh, sorry. Now up to bat for Gaston is Nicholson. And that'll be ball 1 outside. Matthew Connor looking to get this inning over quickly and bringing the Lancers back to the dugout to hit. And that'll be called for a strike. You can tell the batter a little unhappy with that call.
Also, what I noticed too about baseball, the fans, like parents, they like to like also talk trash to each
Oh,
other as
yes.
well.
And that'll miss high for ball number 2. Bring the count out to 2-1. Yeah, some of these parents get into it with the umpire. It's funny.
Yeah.
Is it like that at soccer games?
A little bit, yes. But it gets to a certain point and then they could get taken out.
Have you guys had any ejections this year? And that'll miss outside for ball.
Yes, we had. Or
That'll
from
be 3-1.
from the parents' side, from fan side, no. But we've had a couple of players that got in red cards and had to be taken off the field.
Does the coach get ejected as well, or just the player?
Yeah, the coaches can get ejected too.
Yeah.
That's just like if the referee is just making a
That'll
wrong
miss
call.
up for ball 4. So now Gaston with runners on first and second, and that'll bring
Number 4,
Crabtree up to the plate.
Crabtree.
Crabtree is flew out to left and right, and as well as a single.
You think baseball is a hard sport?
Yeah. I think all professional sports are hard.
Yeah, I agree. If I had to play, if I didn't play soccer and I could change sports, it would be softball.
Really?
Yeah. Even though I don't understand it as much, but I just I run really fast on like short distance, and then I think batting is so fun.
Ooh, and that ball will get past Joshua Qualls and roll to the outfield. And that will bring in a runner for Gaston and leave runners at first and third. So now the Lancers are trailing 14-0 in the top of the 4th. See, I always wish I played soccer though. It's good
Really?
conditioning, yeah.
Yeah, it is very good conditioning.
Be a goalie. Be a pretty good goalie.
There's no conditioning in there though.
That's why I'd pick it.
Goalkeeper. Yeah.
That'd be the spot to play.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
goalkeeper is probably the hardest position for soccer.
And the
For
Lancers
sure.
will now take a mound visit. Coach Calhoun will walk out to the mound.
Gonna
And that'll bring out J.J. McKinney to relief pitch for Matthew Connor.
I didn't mean it like that, though.
Say
25 people. What? Oh, 25 people came to the game today. It is a good crowd. Yesterday we had a lot more people, but it is Sunday, so there's a little less people today. 25 is still a good number for Sunday. Hopefully they stick through this game.
Ooh, rough pitch.
Yeah.
Is it weird wearing that thing?
Yeah.
Do you like it? I think you're a born talker, Verinia. One of the things we noticed about Verinia Delgado, as soon as we met her, Justice, and I think Coach Kenny Hallis would back us up on this, and so would Blake. When you're talking about Verinia Delgado, you're not talking about an introvert. This is a young lady that is going to make her mark using rhetoric, and that is why English class is so important, right, Blake?
Absolutely.
Hey, I found something I want to share with you guys. Who we got in the mound here, Justice?
Oh, we got J.J. McKinney coming for relief.
J.J. McKinney. What do we know about him? Tell us things about him. Say words.
He's been really efficient coming in games late. I mean, he's had a couple games where, the score wasn't favorable, but he still comes in and kind of manages the game pretty well.
Sort of mop up?
Yeah.
I like that term for it. McKinney. Do you guys have something like this for soccer, by the way? Do you guys have something like this for soccer where we can... J.J. McKinney hails from Williamston, South Carolina, and played for Spartanburg Methodist, which used to be a regional rival for us, right? Yeah.
So what happened? Did they move?
They became a four-year school, didn't they?
Interesting.
Something happened. What happened was... All right, 14-0. J.J. McKinney is in the game. We've got runners in first and third, but I'm going to share this thing with you guys just for funsies. The great George Carlin, maybe one of the greatest comedians of all time. You ever heard of George Carlin? One of his bits was comparing baseball and football, and I'm going to share this thing with you guys as McKinney misses inside. I'm just going to read it to you straight. I've mentioned football. Baseball and football are the two most popular sports in this country, and as such, it seems they ought to be able to tell us something about ourselves and our values. I enjoy comparing baseball and football. Baseball is a 19th century pastoral game. Football is a 20th century technological struggle. Baseball is played on a diamond in a park, the baseball park. Football is played on a gridiron in a stadium, sometimes called Soldier Field, or War Memorial Stadium, as we have a fly that lands, not a fly, a base hit. Another run scores. Baseball begins in the spring, the season of new life. Football begins in the fall when everything's dying. In football, you wear a helmet. In baseball, you wear a cap. Football is connected with downs. What down is it? Baseball is connected with up. Who's up? Who is up right here? This is a left-handed hitter. They've batted around so often. Oh, this is Swanson, who's evidently okay because he's hitting again with runners on first and second. In football, you receive a penalty. In baseball, you make an error. In football, the specialist comes in to kick. In baseball, the specialist comes in to relieve someone. Football has hitting, clipping, spearing, piling on, personal fouls, late hitting, and unnecessary roughness. Baseball has the sacrifice. Football is played in any kind of weather, rain, snow, sleet, hail, fog. In baseball, if it rains, we don't go out to play. Baseball has the seventh inning stretch. Football has the 2-minute warning. Baseball has no time limit. We don't know when it's going to end. It might have extra innings. Football is rigidly timed, and it will end even if we've got to go to sudden death. We have a wild pitch here that moves runners over. In baseball, during the game, in the stands, there's kind of a picnic feeling. Emotions may run high or low, but there's not too much unpleasantness. In football in the stands, you can be sure that at least 27 times you're capable of taking the life of another human being. And finally, the objectives of the games are different. In football, the object is for the quarterback, also known as the field general, to be on target with his aerial assault, ridding the defense by hitting his receivers with deadly accuracy in spite of the blitz, even if he has to use shotgun. With short bullet passes and long bombs, he marches his troops into enemy territory, balancing this aerial assault with a sustained ground attack that punches holes in the forward wall of the enemy's defensive line. In baseball, the object is to go home. And to be safe. I hope I'll be safe at home. One of the great monologues of all time there, demonstrating two different sides of the American value system, ladies and gentlemen. And so here is Swanson with runners on second and third.
There we go.
That's a strike. That's a strike for McKinney. 1 out.
So that would be the first out of this inning. Wow.
No, I believe that became the second.
Okay.
It is my belief that we're about to have 3 outs. I mean, 2 outs. 2 outs. Hopefully 3 outs. McKinney catches the corner there for a strike. The hitter now is Hendrickson. Yes, that was the second out, y'all. Hendrickson is 1 for 2. Oh, no, he's not. That is a wild pitch that gets away. And another run is in. Wowee. Score 16 to nothing. Justice reclines in sadness. Yeah. We were playing with the word semi yesterday.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a semi-competitive game. That ball also catches the corner. I like Calhoun seeing some nice work from relievers, though, y'all. Like some interesting things to think about as we move into the playoffs, including perhaps McKinney. He's throwing some bullets.
Yeah. I mean, he's missing. It's not terrible. It's just a couple inches off.
The count is 2-2. You don't, yeah. Hitters. Hendrickson here. It takes the full count. $25 is a decent number for a day like this. A Sunday, it seems like, guys, we draw a little bit less heavy on Sundays. Does it feel that way to y'all?
Yeah.
Saturday doubleheaders draw more. That's going to be ball 4. And it is my hope as we move into next year that especially the athletes for the different teams. I'd like to see more soccer and volleyball players in the stands out here at lovely Doomsday Corner. And I would love to see the baseball team come out to support soccer and volleyball players in the fall. Build a little bit of comitatus, a little bit of community spirit as now we have bases full of Rhinos again for it looks like it's going to be Dansky, who, if you remember, hit a crushing 3-run homer back in the middle of, like, I don't know, one of the innings where they scored a bunch of runs.
Yeah.
The second inning was obviously the big blow. After that, they've been hanging threes on us. That ball slurves in for a strike. Bright spots, though. Matthew Connor looked very dangerous at times with his pitching. And now McKinney the same. We do have questions lingering as that ball is hit sharply past McLaughlin. That's going to be probably ruled an infield hit. Scoring what is going to be the 17th run of the game. And, of course, questions linger about Isaiah Lutz, who, based on what I saw, I'm not a doctor and I don't even play one on TV, guys. But it looked to me like Calhoun was just playing it safe. And if I was a gambling man, I would bet we'll see Isaiah on the field this weekend.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We will update you guys when we know more. We may not know more. Sometimes they just don't tell us because they don't, want to commit to anything. And Kenny misses on the outside there.
Yeah, we've had some unfortunate injuries. Jack Thompson actually just had Tommy John surgery on his elbow, and he might be able to return next year.
Bucaletti hurt too.
Yeah, Bucaletti. Ben Gambrell.
Gambrell has had, our fastest player probably. Still might lead the team in stolen bases, but has had hammy problems.
Has pulled his hamstring twice.
Yeah. And the hamstring injury is a much more common occurrence in baseball than it is, say, in soccer. And the reason for that is, and basketball for that matter, because in soccer and basketball, you're often running backwards. You ever think about that? You're running, and so your hamstring's getting a lot of looseness. Your hamstrings are warm because you're just running everywhere. Baseball, you go from a dead stop to a full-on sprint and then another dead stop. And one part of the body that does not appreciate that kind of movement is the hamstring.
Yep.
And so I would imagine, how do you guys, as that ball is crushed, lordy, that ball is going to be going. Yeah, that landed at the food line. That was a monstrosity by Dansky. That's a bad man. Well, Dansky came into this series with only 6 taters. I say only because from that swing, it's like, why doesn't he have 20? Happiness abounds. Well, heck, y'all, that wasn't even Dansky. That was Lundqvist. My bad. Okay, Dansky has hit home run. Lundqvist came in hit with only 3 dingers, though. but that ball was hit to the moon. Now we're looking at Armstrong. I apologize for being. They don't often. It is 20-0. Wow, you guys. Blake says no more putting the score up. He is going to put it up. Let's put it up. You know, it's a historic moment. Like, I don't know. We might be looking at history. I do not. It's bad for us.
Wrong side of history, but
You know what? You know, our guys are seeing all this, and they're going to remember this if they play Gaston again.
that's true.
We're going to remember this, and there's going to be a little bit of I think, desire to get some revenge after a game like this, getting it poured on us like this. Psychology can work two ways. You say you're interested in psychology.
Mm-hmm.
You said Justice said as an academic major, which makes me very happy. We have great psychology professors at USCL. The professors Neal and Holland among them. But I would say that it can work two ways here psychologically. Like on the one hand, you can get your spirits down going into the playoffs. Like, wow, we just got spanked.
Yeah.
But you could also come in a little mad rolling into Lexington. Like we didn't really appreciate that. What about you guys, Verinia, when you take a hard loss? Like, I'll translate. We'll grab the mic there. Let's put Verinia back on the mic in the middle of this thrashing as
There we go.
McKinney ends the bleeding. You guys haven't taken a lot of bad losses, but you've taken some because Coach
Yeah.
Hallis puts you against for your teams.
Yeah.
Does it tick y'all off and you come back mad, or do you feel like it'll get you down when you take a bad loss? Like, how does it work for soccer?
When we take a bad loss, I feel like we come back like 10 times harder. I think it like lifts up like a better energy when we come back onto the field. I think also individually though, we all have like our mental like negativity thoughts, on the field, and that's what really brings us down.
Negativity thoughts.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. And here, I'm a little surprised they're staying with Purvis, if that is still Purvis. I don't know. It's not. It's not.
I don't think they are either.
Yeah, they already took him out. Number 10. Let's see who this is. Oh, it is Purvis. Okay, so you're up 20-0, and you've had all these long waits as a pitcher. Is that kind of wild to leave him in when you're not really playing for position, Justice?
I mean, yeah, if you have the availability to throw somebody else, you'd think that they would go to somebody, maybe get them reps. I mean, you're up 20. It's not.
I just wonder how your arm and hamstrings stay loose when you're sitting for that long. Maybe they're throwing him over there in the bullpen. I
Yeah,
don't know.
possibly.
Maybe.
What do you think about hamstring injuries being such a big deal in baseball? Do you ever see that in soccer?
Hamstring, yeah, definitely a lot in soccer.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a lot. I mean, anything in the legs in soccer.
You guys be tearing ACLs and stuff.
Yeah, that's probably the worst thing you can do in soccer. It's very unfortunate. I would never pray that on nobody.
That would bother Verinia. We're going to be leading off Caden Barron here. You know what's weird about being down 20? Well, the weirdest thing about it is just being down 20. But one of the weird things about it is our guys haven't even hit that many times, but it feels like we've been playing for a long time.
Yeah.
But we're only in the bottom of the fourth, so this is going to be, by my count, Caden Barron's second plate appearance of the game in the middle of all this. So, Justice, here comes Barron, who's 0 for 1.
Ooh.
And he is hit.
Yep.
All right. Now we have a base runner. We do need to put some runs on the
Wait,
board.
so once they get hit, like, automatically go to the first base?
You go to first base. That's right.
Okay.
See, Verenia's learning.
Yeah.
We
learning.
love it.
There we go.
Here comes Cazorla, Canadian player, right, Justice? With indeed a runner at first. And I just feel like putting some runs on the board would be good for the soul at this point. Don't you guys?
I
Yeah.
agree.
Like, let's
Too many zeros on the board.
Let's get a bunch of runs, in fact. Let's come back and win 21-20. That ball was fouled into the road, probably, or into the tree. There are no outs, and the runner is Caden Barron, and the hitter is Cazorla. Driven to center, I believe playable. Yes, playable. Barron will stay at first. Sebastian Cazorla with the fly out. All right, here comes Dylan Baker, who's certainly shone brightly yesterday with 3 taters, facing the left-handed Purvis. Bottom of the 4th, 20-0. Baker trying to change all that, move that runner along, and that is squibbed. It popped to first, and that's not going to do it, y'all. That'll bring up Chaz Welsh. Last hope in the 4th, perhaps. Through it all, Justice. I'd say Purvis throwing pretty well. I mean, he's only thrown 62 pitches in the 4th inning, and he's given up no runs. We have had base runners, right? Like,
we had bases loaded, I think, the first inning.
We had the bases loaded in the 1st inning with less than 2 outs even.
Yeah.
That felt like that changed the whole vibe.
Yeah.
Then we squandered that. That ball's inside. What else have you learned about baseball that's interesting?
I was just thinking about a question.
Okay.
How do you guys, or for Justice, I guess, how does, like, the team prepare a plan, like, before games? Like, because I know you guys have, like, I don't know. I see you guys, like, wear, like, these things on your arms.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
wow.
Line back to pitch. A good question.
Wow, that was good.
What you're asking about what they're doing when they look at their wristbands.
Wrist and, like, just how they, what is the game plans?
We'll have, like, it's almost like a number code on your wrist.
Yeah.
And sometimes the coach will yell from the dugout, like, a certain number, and it'll tell you on your wrist if hit and run if you're a hitter.
Oh, okay.
Pitchers have one, catchers have one. Our catchers are actually mic'd up. It's like a walkie-talkie, so they can directly hear the coaches.
Oh.
Who's talking to our catcher? I know it's not Calhoun. Well, it might be Calhoun.
Coach Schreiner.
Coach Schreiner, and what's he saying to him? Like the pitches he wants thrown?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Do you guys watch the other team before y'all play
Like
them?
film?
Yeah, like you do film and
Not
stuff?
as a team, no, not really. That'd be a good idea, though. You guys?
Yeah, we watch film.
How available
See,
is
that's smart.
film?
I don't
For
know.
you guys, I guess, pretty available in soccer, right?
Yes, we try to do it before every game.
And the coaches just generously share film with each other? Is that how you get it?
We all have our own login to like the VAO camera, and we individually can watch our own game back.
That's
Really?
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and how do you guys, I mean, you obviously have the stream that Blake provides.
Yeah.
Does Coach Calhoun ever use that stream?
Not for the players, but a lot of the players will go back and watch it like on their own individually.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, because again, if you're looking at these games on the big $1 million arm, baseball is very hard. 2 kids from India won a contest in Southern California trying to refine their pitching skills to the point where they can get a tryout with an MLB team. But they've never even played baseball until a few months ago, and it's been a challenge. In a moment of honesty with Mrs. Brenda, as they call her, Dinesh Patel says, baseball is very hard. Why it's the best? The movie has its moments good and bad. More good than bad, though. And this is one of the good ones. So says the Sporting News as McKinney catches the corner with a strike. Oh, man, this is another one of the best baseball movies of all time. Have you ever seen Major League, Justice?
Charlie Sheen.
That Charlie Sheen comes to Justice's mind immediately. Wild thing. What about you, Blake? Are you a fan of Major League? As that curveball catches the middle? You ever seen Major League, Verinia? You should watch some baseball movies. It'll teach you a lot about baseball. The hitter here, by the way, no, it's not. It's Corbin. Corbin is the hitter. He's got a bunch of RBIs too, not unexpectedly when the score is 20-0.
I still think football has the best movies.
Disagree with that hard. Tell me what some of your
Really?
best.
Has the best what?
Tell
best
me,
movies.
tell me what your favorite football movies are.
I mean, you said it yesterday. Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues, good movie.
Remember the Titans.
Remember Titans, good movie.
Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights, very good movie. And TV show.
And TV show, yeah. I didn't discover that until later.
Do you realize how many more great baseball movies there are, though? You're missing maybe the best football movie of all time.
What?
The Longest Yard.
Oh, okay.
Now,
That's
I'm
a good
talking
one.
about the original one with Burt Reynolds, although the remake with Adam Sandler was fine.
So Burt Reynolds did an original. I didn't even see the original.
Burt Reynolds in the 70s did the original The Longest Yard, and it was ultimately what it was a criticism of our prison system, which, as Verinia knows, is an interest of mine, is it not?
Yes.
We
it
talked
is.
about that in English 102, didn't we?
Yeah,
we
we
read
did.
about the history of prisons in the United States.
I wrote a paper.
Writing
on
an
it too,
essay about it.
And Vernia is writing about it. Well, tell everybody what you're writing about within the prison system. His name is what?
What? Who?
The name of the man,
Red Snyder.
Red Snyder. And that was, Corbin just got rung up on strikes. That makes us happy. Yeah, he did. And now we have a pinch hitter before we get into Red Snyder. The pinch hitter is going to be Elijah Grant. We haven't seen him before. He's a left-handed hitter. He comes in hitting 163 with a 294 on base percentage. And McKinney will be dealing with him now. That ball is put a
good hit.
charge into right. It goes deep.
Let's see. Oh,
But
Yes.
there
Easy
is
catch.
the catch. Nicely done. Is it still Cazorla? Or
Yep,
have we
that's
switched?
Cazorla.
Okay, so Cazorla with another fine catch. He's been a bright spot for Coach Calhoun as well in this game. We've seen some good things. Now we have another pinch hitter. This is going to be number 8. His name is Nick Deal. Oh, we saw lots of him yesterday. He pitched and hit
Arkansas.
well. Yeah, Arkansas. Okay, so Red Snyder, tell us about him.
He is a murderer. He is a crazy person, but he went to jail. Where Virginia? I can't say the name.
The West Virginia State
Pen-
Penitentiary.
I can't say that word.
You can say it.
No, I can't. But yeah, he went there and he haunts that place because they murdered him. They stabbed. Well, yeah, some of the inmates stabbed him multiple times. The jail was just very overcrowded and understaffed. So Red Snyder easily was just murdered in his cell, and now he haunts his own cell. And then now it's a ghost tour for tourists if they want to go and visit. You guys can go visit too, West Virginia.
Might have to.
That is beautifully said. Verinia,
Yes.
Red Snyder was stabbed more than 30 times.
Wow.
He was also part of some
Right.
sort of white supremacist group, I believe,
Oh yeah.
in the prison.
He led that.
And there were just all kind of problems. And so
Right.
one of the main ghosts. Now there are many ghosts in that prison because there are a lot of problems. But back to the longest yard. So the corruption of the prison system, the way that the prisoners are exploited and treated, is a theme of that movie. But the premise of the movie, as number 8, Nick Deal pops one in the center and Baker drifts in for what I believe is the third out. The premise is that the warden of the prison takes pride in his football team. The prison guards play. You saw the Adam Sandler remake,
It's like
right?
similar.
It's the same movie.
Okay.
It's just better, the one in the 70s. Looks like we're going to have some position switches here.
See, I knew I should have taken your class because I wrote a paper on the problem of prisons having incentives and making profits off of the number of inmates.
You wrote a paper about prisons for what
Yeah.
class?
English.
For English.
English
Okay.
101.
Who'd you have for English?
Penuel.
Dr. Penuel,
Dr.
a
Penuel.
brilliant English professor,
Yeah.
one of my colleagues. You probably got an even better experience. She'll have you floating light and right. The faculty here at USCL, and I want to say this with the students on the air. I mean, you come here, and mostly, almost always, you're getting a faculty member who has a terminal degree, usually a PhD, unless it's in the arts, and then it's a Master of Fine Arts. And what you're getting is a lot of attention, too, because the classes aren't that big. And that's different than
Right.
some of these big schools we talk about, like Arkansas or Illinois State or USC Columbia. And I think it's really great for you guys to get that experience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best things that USCL provides. It's just a big, family environment where everybody's really close to each other.
And that is beautifully said. That is what we hope to create. Are we going to have a pinch hitter here, or we're just going back to Qualls? I think it's going to be Qualls. Qualls had a very loud fly out to right his last time up. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, if the Lancers don't score, I think 11 runs. It's a mercy.
Yeah, this is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Unless we score how many?
11.
We need 11 runs to keep this game going. And it's all going to start with Josh Qualls. What about 11 home runs in a row? That's never been done before. We'd end up in the news,
That would be impressive.
including us, because we'd be calling it. Okay, that ball misses on the inside. We'd end up on Sports Center if we hit 11 home runs in a row.
That'd be impressive.
University of South Carolina Lancaster has hit
Oh, now Carter wants it to be 12. Okay.
12.
That ball is hit to right again by Qualls, but again, it's going to be caught for the first out of the fifth.
I think it was interesting how you brought up psychology and how there's like two perspectives to this game. If you lose by this many runs, it might be good because it shows you that you still need to work hard coming into the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way you got to look at it. Like Vernia was saying, we have a pinch hitter here, right? Like number 41, is that right?
Yep, my roommate, Aiden Ray.
Aiden Ray comes in hitting 250 with a very respectable 368 on base percentage. What position does he usually play?
First base.
How many roommates you even got? You got Hunter and
Well,
Aiden?
now it's just me, but I live right across from them. So it's originally it was me, him, and Hunter Overhaul.
Okay. That's nice to see. Aiden Ray, I don't think I've seen him yet since I've been calling games. Let me see what kind of information they got about this young man on the... Are you impressed with the way I got my windows going for an old man? Like, you didn't think I could do it, did you? Aiden Ray hails from Cartersville, Georgia.
Yep.
He is 6'1" and declares his major to be electrical engineering, a very hard major. So, pretty ambitious young man. He almost gets hit there. That ball's a shave and a haircut. He went to Woodland High School. Tell us a little bit about Aiden, some personal fun facts here.
Messy guy, made me move out, but just a great teammate.
He made you move out because he's messy?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. So are you kind of a clean freak, Justice?
I wouldn't say clean freak, but I have standards.
What about you, Vernie?
That's
Are you a
good.
clean freak
Yes.
or are you messy?
I'm not a freak, but not a clean freak.
How many roommates do you have as a soccer player?
I have 4 roommates. I live with 4 other girls.
Four,
It's 5 of us. in
and they're
total.
all soccer players.
Yes, they're all soccer
That's fouled
players.
straight
Next
back.
year we're gonna have more girls in the
Now,
house.
I know that at least one of your roommates hails from the Netherlands.
Yes.
So there's a very strong international contingent on our soccer team. That's Claire, right?
Claire, yes.
Van de Groot,
Yes.
de Groot,
The group. Yeah.
who I taught in English 101 and is very smart. Ray fouls that off. Who else you got as far as national? Is it like, are there other international roommates for you?
Yeah, Julie is also from the Netherlands as well.
Okay.
She lives
Wow.
next to our room.
Yeah.
And we have a lot more national players in our soccer team as well. Malaya from Canada, Francis from England,
Mm-hmm.
Bean also from the Netherlands.
We've got some men players from England as well, and that ball by Ray is poked in the left for a base hit. Well done there. And so with one out, we do have a base runner as McLaughlin will come up. It's such a refreshing thing, I think, and I think Blake would agree. We don't have a 4th microphone right now, but I've loved seeing the international presence on campus. From just all over the world. I mean, you know,
Yes.
volleyball team recruiting from South America, you know.
Yeah.
I think it just adds so much. And you yourself are from Fort Mill,
Yes. I
South
am.
Carolina, but you have some international connections. You want to talk
Yes.
about that a little bit? Like you just went on a big trip somewhere recently.
Ecuador, yes.
Ecuador. McLaughlin hits that a mile high.
Yeah, my family's from Ecuador.
And that's
Oh.
caught.
Oh,
no,
no,
it's
it's
not.
not.
Is it an infield fly roll or what happens now, Justice?
I don't think they called it, so runners
Yeah.
are safe at first and second.
Okay, so an error, let's call that an E5. Ecuador. And this is where you're from originally. Were you born there?
I
or
wasn't born there.
You were born here.
Yes, all my family was born there.
And you recently, as Luke Garabedian comes up, had a chance to go there and visit.
Yes, this past winter break.
How was that?
It was awesome. I love it. I want to go back. We're trying to go this summer again.
That is so exciting,
Yes.
and we've enjoyed hearing Vernia's stories. I did get to meet her grandmother, who came to see her play.
Yes. She's here again too.
That's
flew over
wonderful
here,
that
yes.
we have all these visits. And Garabedian with a chance to bring our comeback that's going to put us on Sports Center takes the ball. I mean, I do think this might be a chance to make all 4 of us world famous. If we come back and win this game, it's going to end up like breaking the internet. So viral. It's going to go viral. That's right. There's a strike on the outside corner there. to even the count to the great Luke Garabedian. I got to say, like, I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to call another at bat by this young man, so I'm going to say this right now. One of my favorite young students I've met here at USCL in all my time teaching here, Justice. He's always cutting up. He's in the middle of things with the students. And he just seems like a very solid young man who takes his classes seriously.
Yep.
And I don't know, like, tell us a little bit about his leadership.
I mean, he's very intelligent. He's very charismatic. He's just a great teammate to have. And he's even giving me advice on certain financial things, too.
Yeah, doesn't he do stocks?
Yeah, we talk stocks sometimes.
I mean, come on. This guy's already committed, of course. He's done his 2 years here, so we won't be having Luke with us anymore. So it's been a real treat to have him on the team and his legacy as he draws a walk and the base is full of Lancers. Nice to get an opportunity to do a hat tip to that young man.
He's an old soul.
He's an old soul. Justice likes old souls. Justice, for any often be talking about how he wishes that he'd been born so he could already skip and be old. Like, I think he's tired of being young.
I know, I am.
All right, this is a pinch hitter named Sam Neenow. Tell us about, or is it Nia now?
Oh, we got Sam? Yeah, this is my Minnesota buddy right here.
Minnesota buddy. Tell us about him.
He's the reason I came to South Carolina. I followed him.
So Justice followed Sam Neenow, who is from Cottage Grove, Minnesota, clocks in at 5'10", 190 pounds, majors in business. He's from Park High School. He just told you one day, hey, there's this school, USC Lancaster. How'd that work?
Yeah, we had played on the same club team, and he had told me about the school, and he was kind of like, I'll give him your contact information. I went on a visit, and I decided I'll go here, play Will Influence.
Coach Calhoun's getting a look at him here. You get the impression he's only played lightly.
Yeah.
He has put together 45 at bats, so not that lightly.
Okay.
But, that's compared to, like, some of these guys, with 150 at bats. Or who's got the most at bats for us? That's going to be Caden Barron. Well, we knew it wasn't going to be Garabedian because of all the walks. So Caden Barron leads the way with 156 at bats for Lancaster. That ball is hit on the ground. They're only going to get one. We're going to call that a fielder's choice. Did we just score a run?
Yes, we did.
All right.
There's one.
All right, so that's one.
No more zeros on the board.
No more zeros on the board. RBI for Neenow.
Yeah.
And that's going to bring up Caden Barron, who we were just talking about. As I say these names, Verini, I know you didn't know much about baseball, but have you had classes with? Did these names ring a bell as I say them as they come to the plate, or have you not had classes with them?
No.
No, and then we're a small school, but we're not that small. And some students choose online classes, don't they?
Yeah, I think a lot of people get online.
That
classes.
is ripped foul. You were saying?
I think a lot of people pick online classes, like half online, half in person.
It does feel half and half.
Yeah.
We were talking about Dr. Piniel, my English colleague. She and I are two of the definite face-to-face souls in the fall and spring. If you want to see us, why, there we are in our office with the doors open.
Yeah.
But I do teach online sometimes in the summer, and but I prefer being in the room with you guys. But
Yeah.
ouch,
That
fouled off the
scared me.
catcher, but he's fine. Just another day at the office. I might have gotten a little bit of the umpire too there, Justice.
Yeah.
But everybody's all right.
He's a tough
Yeah,
guy.
everybody's hardcore today. As the score is 20-1, we're getting ready to put 21 more runs on the board here. As Caden's going to start things off and put us on Sports Center. The left-handed Purvis trying to get a complete game here. He's ahead in the count 0-2. Barron fouls back. Anyway, yes, I do tend to prefer face-to-face, but I think Verini is probably right that student preferences break half and half. And boy, we
Right.
have some talented online teachers on this campus. People blow me away with what they're able to do. I've had the opportunity to see a lot of my colleagues' work, reading their files and seeing what they do. And the ones that teach online, the talent level just humbles me. And so I'm just so proud to be a faculty member at this school. Barron has been plunked.
Twice.
Twice now, yeah. Caden, even as I mentioned all his at-bats, that's two that don't. Does a
count.
hit by pitch, I think it does not count as an at-bat. It counts as a plate appearance. It's kind of like a walk.
Okay.
Cazorla will now come up with the bases loaded as we try to mount this
Bases
epic
is loaded.
comeback.
11 home runs.
Well, you know, we're
10
down.
more.
We're only down 20-1, so we only need 19 more runs now to tie it. In the immortal words of Jeffrey Dean Morgan from Walking Dead, it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Here comes the pitch to Cazorla. That's going to get away. It's a wild pitch. Here comes one run is going to be in McLaughlin, and runners will move to second and third. So that will be our second run. My scoring has gotten awfully lazy. Y'all
9 more.
sitting here talking. Instead, we need 9 more to stop the game from stopping. Verinia wants to be on the mic more. She's addicted to sports media. This is Cazorla now. 2 runners in scoring position. Only 18 more runs to go to tie it, but there are 2 outs. And that ball swoops inside, too. This pitcher likes to pitch you inside, doesn't he, Justice? Yeah. Purvis is about to throw his 89th pitch, according to my app. I've got so many windows open, you guys. Even though I'm in my 50s, I think I'm pretty tech savvy. Here goes the pitch, swing and a miss. But Game Changer is my anchor, and it will be next season, as I promise you. Blake and I both promise you. Health allowing, right, Blake? We'll be back next season. Verinia will be with us, too. That ball catches the letters for a strike. We will not be able to stream from Lexington, although that is a dream of mine to do in the future. But what we will do is post things about it, and maybe even we'll send Verinia down there to watch some tournament games.
Maybe,
we'll talk to her about it after the game and see if she's interested. But these kids also have final exams, so and that will end the game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as the catcher shakes hands with the umpire, both of them glad they didn't get hurt by that pitch. Your final score: Gaston College 20. USC Lancers 2. If you wouldn't mind, Verinia, I'd like to put Blake on the mic for a second.
Yeah, of course.
Before we close out. And Justice, it's been a real pleasure being with you guys. And Verinia, thank you so much. Blake, man, you've created a great experience here over the last couple of years. You've been up here with me for 2 years now, working with Justice. How do you feel about what you're creating here and where it's going in terms of just bringing these games live? And also, we had a great year. We just finished 3rd. It was fun to watch, right? How about your impressions overall?
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's just great to be able to do this for these athletes and for their parents, you know, if they can't come to the games every week. And we're just looking at new ways to try to improve it for these families and these students. So, you know, we take the tech we have and we do the best with it. And, you know, I'm just like I say, I'm just one guy with a couple of cameras. So,
you know what I noticed in the Sumter game? Somebody was grabbing clips off your video and throwing them on Twitter when they had guys making great plays.
Right.
It was really weird to hear my voice on a Twitter clip. And it's like, you know, what a great play by the shortstop. He went into the hole, you know, and it's like me saying it, and it's your video feed, and it's on a Twitter feed. And it was just like, okay, somebody likes your tech because they're sharing it, you know, and it's potentially to go viral. So I think it has looked really good, and we get compliments all the time. I'll turn to you, Justice, just kind of thoughts on, you know, all of it as we move. Are you going to go down to Lexington with the guys this weekend, or is he not bringing red shirts?
No, I'll probably drive my own and just kind of watch the team.
Just go watch. That sounds beautiful. And just tell me a little bit about what it's been like. We've talked a lot about announcing with us, and I appreciate that. But you're on the team. I know you're eager to get down there and engage with those guys. But before we say goodbye, tell us a little bit about what it's like playing for this team that has played with so much heart all year, has finished in one of the deadliest regions in Division I, dead even at 15-15. What do you think about all that? You came all the way down here from Minnesota. How did year 1 go?
I mean, regardless of how we finish, it's been a great journey so far. Just being around the guys every day, a bunch of amazing guys who have my back, and they make me want to have theirs. And I'm excited to see what's in store for these playoffs.
Wow, I don't know if we can do any better than that, except to say we really appreciate y'all out there in Lancer Nation. And, you know, unfortunately for Friday, I will not be able to travel to Lexington. But if we keep winning, you'll see me down there, I hope, too, on Saturday and or Sunday. Maybe Blake will want to go. We'll have to talk about it.
No, I have commencement.
Blake has commencement. Okay, so, yeah, but we'll see. Maybe we'll get, you know, I got a couple of colleagues. We'll see. But I'll be following on Game Changer, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll post for you and perhaps Vernie will be there too. But my heart will be with these boys, these young men. Excuse me. I was looking at two little kids on the field. Coach Calhoun's twin boys
Yep.
playing baseball with their mom, who's also the student athlete success coordinator, Natalie Calhoun, for whom we're very grateful. I'm going to sign off. This is Nick Lawrence here at lovely Doomsday Corner, thanking you for a beautiful spring, everybody. You make it possible, and let's all enjoy the rest of this spring. And good luck to all the student athletes on both teams as they not only go to Lexington, but finish their final exams and papers. And we're going to get Verinia the final shot, waving. Yeah, she's been a true blessing. I've never worked with students the way I've gotten to work with Justice and Verinia this semester, so as a teacher, you guys, I'm going to take this to my grave, this experience with you guys. I'm going to say that on air. You guys both mean a lot to me, and I appreciate you and look forward to seeing you guys go out and accomplish great things. And with that, I'm going to take the headset off and thank you all. Peace out.